Cam.
Nick.
Pleased to meet you.
And you, mate.
All good?
You? Good, man.
Decent.
How's things?
Very good.
Yeah.
I made a video earlier. This is probably the first Christmas I can remember where I've been excited to come back to work. I've had them 2 days off, and it's like, right, we're back at it now. Ben, we're on. I pick you up at 10. And it's taken me to get to 45 years old to find something that you go, actually, this isn't work. This is something I enjoy doing. This is something that I'm excited about doing. This is something that... And I'm glad I've got there at 45, and I wonder what my life would be like now if I'd have found something like that at 35 or 25.
It's all hindsight though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all hindsight. But you're here now. That's the main thing, isn't it?
Defo.
Some people might not find out until they're 55, 65.
Mm-hmm. Some people may never find it.
Might never find out, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's good, man.
Yeah.
So did you have jobs before this? Obviously, I presume you
Yeah, so I'm a tennis coach. That's me. That's what I've been for 20 odd years. Now, when I say I've loved tennis coaching, but it's still, you've never really woken up after Christmas and gone, great, I'm going to get back on the tennis court now. Once you're doing it, it's great.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe doing this in a year, 2, 3, 5 years' time, you might be, another podcast or another whatever. But yeah, so tennis coach, still tennis coach now, a bit less. But it's just nice, you wake up on a day when it's shitty weather and you think, actually, I can come and sit inside and it's warm. And I've been outside in every weather condition you can possibly imagine for 20 years.
Yeah,
and it's
me
not
too.
easy.
Yeah.
So you probably thought that you found your vocation in life as a fireman.
Yes. So
So tell us about that.
I joined the fire service when I was 20 years old. I'm currently 24. So I joined when I was 20. I was in a group of people. Well, I say a group. You go through stages. So I applied. When you apply, say for example, there's 10 different stages before you get, all right, now you're employed. If you fail, let's say, stage 3 or stage 5, you go right back to the start. You don't go back to stage 2 or stage 4.
Oh, wow.
So, and the thing is, when you go back to the start, you can't apply again for 6 months. So when I was doing it, it was 6 months. However, now, I think as we're recording this, especially West Midlands, which is the brigade I work for, you can't reapply for a year. So I know friends who have tried to get in, failed, and they can't apply for another year, let alone get in. And bearing in mind, it took me 18 months to get in terms of when I first applied and when I got employed.
So it's another 2.5 years if you fuck up.
Yeah.
Before you can even be considered to be.
Yeah, and
be
that's
there.
if you pass everything kind of on the way.
So there's 10. So what is it like? 10 different. Like, is it physical attributes? Obviously, you go through all your tests and things like that.
The first thing that you'll do, I don't know, it might change, but the first thing that you will do is you'll send off your application, and then they'll send you online tests on your laptop or your phone or whatever. There will be kind of mechanical tests, English tests, maths tests, basic tests, but not that easy, not as easy as what you think. The mechanical test is what I failed on the first time, which was, to explain it, it's like, say for example, there is a scale, a weighting scale like this, for example.
Yes.
And this will say, this side weighs 3 newtons, this one weighs 10 newtons. What is the difference, or what is the probability that this... Very complicated.
The way they're worded sometimes.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, I knew I failed it the first time round because that was the stage where I got the email to say you failed.
Yeah.
The second time round I was doing it. It took me 3 attempts to get in. The second time round, I think I did pass it that time, but I failed on a further thing down the line. But the way which they word it tricks you out massively.
Yeah.
And when I was filling it out, because you timed as well, you also timed. So people might be watching this saying, oh, why can't you just Google online how to do this, or what's the answer to this question, but you're timed, you get like 2 minutes a question. So it's like an exam. Mm-hmm. And I'm doing it, and I remember filling it in and thinking, oh, I ain't passed this. Just clicking random things. I thought, what's the point? It's my 3rd attempt now, like, I'm going to give up after this one. But we got there, ended up passing that, and slowly but surely made it to the end and got in after 18 months. So when I got onto the fire station, I was 20. No, I was nearly 21. It was a month before my 21st birthday.
Wow.
So very young. In the group that I was training with, there was 20 of us, and there was me and a girl who was also 21. So I was 20, I think she was 21. The rest were late 20s, up to 45 years old. So very young, going into quite a serious job.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, I think it helped me because I had to grow up quick.
Yep.
I had to mature fast. Before I know it, it's as simple as you will pass your 18 months training. Say, for example, you pass on the Friday. You will be in the fire station riding on the back of a fire engine on the Sunday. You could potentially be going to a house fire on the Sunday. Bearing in mind, 8 weeks, you do an 8-week training course to finish it. 8 weeks before this house fire, you was just someone who didn't have a clue what was on a fire engine. And then 2 months later, you're potentially in charge of saving people's lives. So you have to grow up quick. Luckily, and this will probably be the thing for a lot of people that do join the fire service, you'll end up being on the truck with a lot of guys with experience.
Yeah.
A lot of people who've been in there 10, 20, 30 years maybe. So you're not left on your own as such, but you are still fresh, like you are still new. But yeah, definitely had to grow up quicker at a young age, which I think has helped me a lot later on.
So, did you do university or anything like that, A-levels before?
No,
You
so
finished school and then just straight away you thought, actually, I want to go into the fire service, or?
no, like I'll say to people that I didn't have a passion. I wish I did. I wish I knew what I wanted to do with my life, but I never knew what I wanted to do. The latest or the earliest memory I have of when I was in school, and it was kind of a careers day where people would think what they want to do. The teachers would give you a piece of paper and you'll write what you're interested in. You'd have construction, doctor, nurse. And I remember just saying to the teacher, I just want to be a businessman. And I will never forget saying that. I just want to be a businessman. And for some reason, that's always stuck with me throughout life. And I've tried and done and failed many businesses, many ways to make money for myself online, whether that be physical, whether that be drop shipping, all these kind of things. I've tried a lot of ways to make money for myself, because as I grew up, I found it really clear, that I didn't take well to having a boss. So I finished school, and then the next stage was, right, everybody's going to college. I've got to go to college. I'm saying to my mum, I don't know what I want to do. She's saying, well, everyone's going to college, so go to college. And I think that's what happens to a lot of kids now. A lot of kids don't know what they want to do, and I don't blame them, because I was in that position. Went to college. This is quite funny. I'd done A-levels for one day. All my friends are doing A-levels, and I thought I need to do A-levels. Started my A-levels. I think I'd done business, English literature, and psychology. Psychology was the last one of the day. I think they were like 2-hour lessons. So I'd done 2 hours English in the morning, 2 hours business. Then we had lunch, and at lunchtime I went to the careers advisor in the college I was in, and said to the woman, like, this isn't for me. Like, I remember sitting in the lectures thinking, what am I doing? Like, I'm not meant to be here.
Yeah.
I don't know what I want to do. So I just went to her, and it was scary. I remember going in there, man, because everyone was just started college. Everyone had just like got all their new pencils and the new folders, and it was a good feeling, but I just felt so lost. And she then put me onto health and social care, which is quite a strange one. It's like a diploma kind of BTEC course. It's not A-levels. I think it's a bit below that, because she said to me, if you don't know what you want to do, go for health and social care, because it will give you the most kind of options possible. You can go into teaching, you can go in, it's got like things to do with psychology, all these different things you can do from health and social care. So I was like, okay, then I'll do health and social care. Done that, got the diploma after a year and a half maybe. Haven't used it since. After that, I then went to another college, because now I'm saying to my mum, like, I don't want to do this. Like, I've done it, but I don't feel like I want to do it. But I needed work after college. People were getting jobs and stuff. So the next thing after that is what a lot of young kids might find now is their parents will say, if you don't know what to do, go and learn a trade. Go and get a trade. And to be fair, I think that's a good option for a lot of people. If they are struggling with what to do, I think a trade's a good option, because you can earn money. Well, it's a skill for life. It's a skill for life. Painting, decorating, plastering, bricklaying. It's something that you'll have for your whole life. So after that, I went to college, another college, a different one, and started a carpentry course. Didn't have a clue what to do with carpentry. Nothing at all. At this time, I was just working part-time jobs. I was working in Burger King, Nando's, just trying to kind of earn money while still at college, because I needed money. I haven't come from a rich family, live in a council estate, haven't had the luxury of an upbringing which a lot of people have. What I've had, or what I've got now, I've earned. Haven't really had any handouts, inheritance, all them things. So I worked from 16 really. Probably before that, I was selling sweets in school because I just wanted to earn a bit of money. I'll always remember when I was in school, the new FIFA was coming out, and I loved playing FIFA. I was addicted. Loved my computer. Loved my PlayStation. And my mum didn't have the money to get it me because basically FIFA comes out in September,
Yes.
and she'd always say to me, "Wait till Christmas." But
Yeah.
me being me, I wanted it now as
Yeah.
a kid. So I was like, okay, my mum's not going to get me till Christmas. I need money. It's £50. What do I do? And I just started selling sweets and school cans of pop. I remember taking my school bag, getting the bus to Farm Foods because I didn't have a car. Obviously, I didn't know how to drive. My mum didn't drive. My mum's never drove. So I used to get the bus to Farm Foods, fill up my rucksack with used to get like cans of pop, like 24 cans for £6 or something. And I started this is when I started learning about business, like profit and kind of how much I was spending because I was taking my bus fare out of my profits and all this. And if I sell this for this much, I'll get this. And basically, I went from, my mum used to give me like £2 a day for school. And I didn't eat at school, I reckon, for at least 3 to 4 days because I just wanted a bit of money to invest basically into cans of pop. And I've gone with this. That's my train of thought. Oh yeah, so I've got about £8 or whatever, and basically, long story short, I ended up getting £50 and buying FIFA the day it come out, and that's something I'll never forget as well because that learnt me that if I want to do something, I can do it, and that's followed me throughout my life. I'll talk about it later, but kind of quitting the fire service, starting up on TikTok now, which has been great for me, as you probably know yourself. TikTok's brilliant, but again, I'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, this has been there's all these little things that happened in my childhood, which I think have led me to who I am now, my thought processes and my mindset really, because as I say, man, looking back, I struggled growing up. I didn't have a lot at all. And it's good to look back on because I think when you come from nothing, when you come from not having anything, you appreciate everything a lot more, don't you? You learn how to manage your money a lot better because it's more valuable to you and all these things. So yeah, after college, I then decided so I got sacked from Burger King.
What for?
For basically, there was a new manager that come in and I just didn't take to him. And this is when I think about me working for bosses. I didn't take to him. I was only 16, so I probably had a bit of an attitude, but I just didn't take to him. Nando's, I was almost forced to leave as such because I got caught eating garlic bread in the kitchen.
Come on, you've got to at least be eating the chicken.
Oh, mate, I did eat it, but they didn't catch me. So, yeah, I got caught eating garlic bread in the kitchen. And the manager basically said to me, you've got two options. When I tell the big boss, he's probably going to sack you for theft or food theft. Or you can leave and not have that on your record. So I just left gracefully. And then after Nando's, there was a guy who, funnily enough, he was dating my auntie at the time, that's how I knew him. He used to date my auntie. They had a child and stuff, my niece, and my mum said to me, "Because you're doing carpentry at college, his name's Chaz." I said, "Could you do carpentry at college? Speak to Chaz, see if he'll get you working with him because he's self-employed,
Right.
Just construction, that kind of work." And dropped him a text, and he was more than happy to have me on. He could see that kind of I was an apprentice as such, and he just needed a hand, just labouring, bits like that. But I picked up so much, man, because he's very knowledgeable. He's a bit like me. Like he come from nothing, and he's just worked hard. And he used to live in an area called Kings Norton. And now he's moved a bit. Now he lives he's in a nice house. But he's kind of worked hard for himself, and that's what I like about him. So he used to tell me loads, educated me a lot about money and kind of just working for yourself. I had to learn how to do taxes, how to go self-employed, tax returns, nothing which I'm 18, 19 doing tax returns. This is like a new world to me. But I'm happy I learned it because now it's things that I need to know. So yeah, man, I was doing that. So I was self-employed with him for maybe 2 years, and this is when society kind of hit me again. I like to call it the societal trap.
Yeah.
I.e., go to school, get a job. I like to call it that because, as I was saying, yeah. So this hit me, and then I'm looking around at my friends now, and I'm self-employed. If it rains, sometimes I'm not getting work, which means I'm not getting paid. I don't get sick pay. I don't get all these luxuries that you get with employment. And I'm seeing all my friends around me, we're in group chats online and stuff, and I'm looking at them, and they're joining like the police, they're joining doing civil engineering, they're all employed with these companies, and I'm thinking, crap, like I'm falling behind here. I'm not getting these luxuries. I can see my friends working for pensions and paying their pensions and stuff, and I'm thinking, like, I don't even know if I've got work next week, and they know they've got this guaranteed money coming in, and they're like all this pressure about getting a mortgage and stuff. I thought I need a real job. I need something to do. And this is where you asked me if firefighting was my passion and stuff, but no, it was honestly more so the fact of I was scared of falling behind.
Yeah.
So I remember I remember this as well. I remember sitting in my room thinking, what do I know about myself now, which will give me a job which I know I'll enjoy? I.e., I don't want to be sitting in an office, so I didn't want to sit in an office. I was into the gym, into boxing at the time, I was into my sport. I wanted something like physical. And I don't know where it come from, but firefighting just come to mind. I thought, do you know what, it sounds quite interesting. I don't know a lot of people, well, I didn't know anybody who was in the fire service at that point. Didn't really hear of firefighters, and I always remember I didn't really see firefighters on the street. Always see ambulances, police, but I never really seen firefighters. So I thought, let me just do a bit of research, look into it. And yeah, like I said, I failed 3 times, but on the 3rd attempt, I got in. And it was almost like when I was going through it, I kind of knew that I wanted more from life or from myself. I knew I wanted to explore different options. I knew I wanted to travel, definitely. But I also knew that time was ticking, and I needed I thought I needed a stable job. So that's how I got into firefighting from the start, really.
Amazing. There's so many things there that remind me of me, but also a couple of things that I've spoken about on my earlier TikToks. And one of my first videos that went viral to an extent, I think it's like 1.5 million views or something now it's sat on. I said something along the lines of, if you're a young lad, avoid these 5 things and you'll, I don't know what I said, you'll become a better version of yourself. Number 1, don't go to university, waste of fucking time. Waste of time.
Don't get me started, yeah.
Total waste of time.
Yeah.
Unless you're passionate about being a doctor or a lawyer or a civil engineer or something that absolutely requires it. So my eldest daughter, she absolutely knows what she wants to do. She wants to be a special educational needs teacher. She's going to university to do that course because that's what she loves and she's passionate about. I'm all for that. I'm not all for these people. Like you said, I went to college because my mates went to college and my mum says, you might as well go to college. And that would have easily have flipped you into then going into university and doing the same thing and getting some shitty degree in social science or fucking humanities or art.
Yeah.
And I'm passionate about art, by the way. But I understand the real world implications of getting an art degree. There aren't many, are there? So it was that. It was, don't get a girlfriend. Do not let your dick control your mind at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, because it's going to cause you more problems than you solve. You're going to become lazy, no money, fat, and then brokenhearted.
Yeah.
And then that's going to turn you into somebody that is either super motivated or one of these depressed, poor me, and you can avoid all of that.
I see it now. Some of my friends, they wouldn't. And I speak to people, like with the interviews I do online and stuff, people say they wouldn't change the kids for the world, which I get, I understand. I can 100% see that. If I had a child now, I feel like it would be the best thing ever.
Yeah. But
they also say if they could turn back the clock from when they were younger, they wish they'd done things with their life now, because now they've got children, they can't do that. They're not. I spoke to a guy the other day, I play football with him on the weekend, and he said, like, travel now while you can, do the things while you can, because he don't regret having his kids at all. But if he could go back, he would either have them at a later time or at least do what he wanted to do that he can't do now. And it's massive, like. So yeah, 100% understand. And that's where the girlfriend bit comes into it. When you're young, I always say to everyone, get your first heartbreak out of the way.
Yeah.
Some of my friends didn't have their heart broken until early 20s. I was lucky. I had mine when I was 16.
Yeah.
Perfect, really.
Yeah, perfect.
But yeah, your first heartbreak's going to be the worst. But then yeah, just when you're that young, you don't need, like you say, you don't need a woman. You don't, because the things that come with it are the things that will not come with it will outweigh the things that come with it. If that makes sense.
100%.
So yeah, anyone watching this, if you're young, even if you're, I don't know, 22 and below, maybe, just focus on yourself.
But it's so difficult because the girls are just magnetic, aren't they?
That's the problem with us men.
Do you know what? It was funny because I watched it was a documentary or something I watched a while ago, and it was about a woman that was transitioning to becoming a man, and they'd obviously gone through all the things that you do to start with, you know, changing their hair and all of this, but then eventually they went on to testosterone therapy.
Okay.
And this woman, which was then a man, was like, the moment I started testosterone, all I could see was tits and fannies everywhere. She said, or he said, I just couldn't believe the switch. All I could think about was women. All I could see was women. I'm smelling them. I can sense them before. And I felt like saying, that's what it's like being a teenage lad.
Yeah.
That's what it's like being a man.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was really interesting coming from that point of view of somebody that had been a female with low testosterone levels to going to a normal male level of testosterone and going, I don't know how blokes fucking concentrate. I just don't get it. I can't even go and watch breakfast TV because I'm fancying the weather woman on the morning. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, Susanna Reid's been in my heart my whole life.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, it's absolute madness because I'm guessing some people will go, nah, you don't know what you're talking about. I don't think women function like that at the same level. Some might do. But it is 24 hours a day. I can remember going from not really enjoying school up until 15, and then I couldn't fucking wait to get to school because all of a sudden it's like the world's opened up to you.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I never noticed Charlene before. Oh my God, I never noticed Emily before, and Rowena.
I've never thought about that, but funny you say that now.
It is mind-blowing. Now, if you are strong enough-willed to navigate those years, look, you've all got to go and do your business and learn about girls. But man, it puts... So I wanted to be a professional tennis player. That was my goal. And I played full-time tennis between the ages of... So when everybody went to do A-levels, they had to do an A-level called General Studies as well. So I did psychology, sports science and biology. And then everybody else did something called General Studies, which was just like a general... Everybody did it.
Okay.
I was allowed to not do General Studies and use those times for the lessons to go and play tennis.
Oh, that was good though. That's
it was good for
yeah,
the school.
Yeah.
It was good. And so I was playing full-time tennis. I was probably playing 30 hours a week of tennis. I wanted to be a tennis player. But at 17, I got a girlfriend, my first love. And that was everything. And slowly but surely, you want to spend more time with the girlfriend. You're not seeing your mates. You're not competing. You do all of this. And then before you're 20 years old, you've stopped. You've finished. I've not even got her on Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
I've never had her on Facebook. I couldn't tell you the last time I spoke to her. And you just think to yourself, wow, what could have been? But equally, my story now involves all of that. And I can offer some advice. And it's amazing that you've got to 25 and you're already able to have a lot of those life experiences, which is amazing. Because you can fail so many times before you're 30 and you can still make a huge recovery. Man, if this goes the way that I'm planning it, my life's going to be completely different in 2 years' time, and I didn't start until I was 45. Yeah. So all of them fuck-ups and mistakes I've made, you can still recover from them.
Yeah.
And people don't realise... had a guy on the other day, and he's a life coach type guy, and he said, you've got to read this book, it's called 4,000 Weeks. So essentially, we've all got 4,000 weeks if we're lucky to live. 4,000 weeks takes you from birth to about 80, which is about the average. Now, that means that at my age now, at 45, I've got 35 more Christmases.
Yeah.
That's it, if I'm lucky.
I think I've seen that video, yeah.
And when you put it into perspective like that, you know, numbers on a chart, you're like, why am I wasting time?
Yeah.
Why am I wasting time feeling sorry for myself? Why am I wasting time... Ridiculous, because I've just said don't do it, but not asking that girl out. Why am I wasting time not going on that trip?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've only got 35 more Christmases if I'm lucky.
Yeah. I'm so aware of how fast time's flying.
Which
and
is amazing
I'm
for your
happy.
age.
Yeah, I'm very happy I've realised it early. And I think it has stemmed from being in the fire service, because I'd speak to guys who are 40, like your age, for example, and they're saying like, man, what I'd do to go back to being your age.
Yes.
And it really does open my eyes. Whereas I think a lot of people my age, early 20s, they're not in these jobs. They might be still, I don't know, at Starbucks, or still doing something else, or maybe just started their apprenticeship from university. They haven't had the life experience, but I'm so happy that I have.
But they're also not surrounded by people that have had those life experiences.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which you put yourself in that frame. And I'm a huge advocate for particularly young men learning from other men, the elders, the older brothers, the dads, the granddads. I think as a society, certainly white people,
Yeah.
we don't do that anymore. I've got a lot of Asian friends, and they still have that kind of tiered system of, we've got the older brother, we've got the dad, we've got the granddad, and we sit together and we tell stories and we learn from the back of them. And you know, your brother will come to you and say, look, what are you doing that for? You're being a dickhead. Don't do that, because you're going. And I think certainly, you know, the white friends that I have, they get married, go and live their little separate life, sometimes see their parents, sometimes see their brother.
Yeah.
They've not got this family unit anymore.
Yeah.
But, you know, and like I said, I don't know your circumstances in that, but you went and found that brotherhood in the fire service, which is amazing.
I happily say, I grew up in a single house. My mum was single. She had me and my brother. My father was never there. I think last time I seen him when I was 16 on my birthday.
Okay.
So I've never had a male role model.
Yeah.
I had my uncles and stuff, but I think your father's a bit different. Growing up, who knows where my life would have been. But the fire service, the guys in there almost, it might sound a bit weird, but I almost looked at them as
Father's figures.
Yeah, because they understood me. They knew my background and all this, so they could see, like, I remember the last day when I handed in my resignation, like, I won't say his name, but the guy who sat me down in the office, he just said, like, I feel like you're going to smash it. He goes, you've got your head screwed on. Like, if you was my son now, I'd be proud of you, kind of thing. And that meant a lot, to be fair, because and that was almost like it was my father figure, because I've never had that, and a lot of kids don't have that. So I always say to people, the best way to learn or to get experience about something that you're interested in is learn from people 2 or 3 steps ahead of you, not people who are 10 or 20 steps ahead of you. For example, if somebody wants to start creating content on TikTok, learn off people who have maybe been doing it for 6 months, 12 months, rather than people that have been doing it for 4 or 5 years who've got millions of followers, because they don't remember the struggles. They're not going to give you the real advice, whereas someone who's only just started it 2-3 steps ahead of you will give you that real advice, because they haven't got an ego. They just want to help people, and that's what I want to do. A lot of my followers now are young men, because I want to start helping people. I want to start letting people know that you can, and I'm proof of it. You can come from bad environments. You can come from kind of even working good jobs, and that's another thing. Like, the fire service is a great job. I'll never say it's not a good job.
Decent pay.
So when you start out, you're on 25,000 a year.
That's more than a teacher.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah.
I think a teacher's like 23, 24.
So I was 20 on 25,000 a year, which is incredible. Some people, even I get people comment on my videos like, "Why did you give it up?" etc. And then once you're qualified, you go up to 30,000 a year, and that's after about 18 months.
Wow.
So
you could essentially be 22 years old
on 30 grand
and
a
on
month.
30 grand a year.
And that's without overtime. That's without anything else, really.
And it's a decent pension as well you're paying into.
Very good pension. One of the best, I think.
Well, I mean, we were just discussing before we started recording, weren't we? My dad was a fireman, had to retire early. And I was having a conversation with him the other day, and he was saying, I think he was here actually when Ben was here, and we were having a chat. he was saying all the years he was in the fire service, he used to really hate having to pay into his pension because he was like, this is not fair. You're taking, I don't know, 10% of my wages,
it's a
and I
good
want
chunk.
that money now. But now he's retired. That money is unbelievable. I mean, he saves so much money every month because the retirement fund was amazing.
And I think the retirement age was a bit earlier as well than usual. I don't know what. I know it's changed. When I joined, there was a new pension being brought in, and I know a lot of the firefighters were a bit peed off about it because they said the previous pension was amazing.
Yeah.
But even the new pension that brought in, they still said it's better than the majority out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, the pension's great. The shifts are great as well. The shift patterns were absolutely amazing. I remember when I used to work self-employed, the guys working with said like, because I told him about the fire service, and he said, I don't know if I could do the fire service because I've got kids. I don't know how it would work doing night shifts and stuff. Obviously, it wasn't a worry to me at the time, but it's the best shift pattern in my opinion, for kids, because it's literally 2 days, two days on, no, 4 days on, 4 days off, 2 day shifts, 2 night shifts, 4 days off. You will get, they call it rest. So this isn't a secret, but a lot of people don't know this, but you can sleep, people do sleep at fire stations. The firefighters do sleep on night shifts.
Yes.
And I guess that's just because of how like important sleep is and you rest, because the last thing you want to be, especially if you're in a burning house, you don't want a firefighter who's sleep deprived, not feeling well, coming to try and rescue you.
100%.
So some people get the ump about that, but I see why it is. So you'll do 2 day shifts, and then I don't know if you've got kids, you'll see your kids. It's just like going to a normal 9 to 5. Your day shifts 8 till 6. Your 2 night shifts will be from 6 p.m. until 8 a.m. the next morning.
Yeah.
So you might miss an evening with your kids, but you might have the whole day. You can still go and pick them up from school because you've got till 6 p.m. You can still, if it's a weekend, you still got a whole day with them that way. So you might lose an evening with them, but then the benefit I think is when you wake up at 8 a.m. or say if you managed to get your head down, and this is obviously in hindsight because you can get called out. Call outs aren't as frequent as they used to be just because of fire protection.
Yes.
Obviously they've clamped down a lot more on smoke alarm, sprinkler systems, so I don't think there's as many fires as there used to be. But you'll wake up at 8 a.m. Fingers crossed you've had a decent night, and then you've got the whole day. Like you can probably take your kids to school, still see them after school. If it's a weekend, you've got the whole day. But people think that you won't see your kids as much. But all the firefighters I worked with said it's the best shift pattern if you've got kids. If you've got kids, the fire service is brilliant. So anyone watching this, if you've got kids and you're on the edge or fence about joining the fire service, you'd be surprised with how good the shifts will help you.
Well, like I say, my dad was in the fire service before I was born, and he had, kids, 3, 4 kids.
Yeah.
And yeah, never
felt like,
affected us. I used to love him coming back home from a shift, and he'd been to a fire, and you could smell that that smoke on him. And he'd sit down and eat his dinner, and I'd eat some of his dinner with him and whatnot.
Yeah, the casting.
He'd been to a fire, Dad.
Yeah,
just that. But it was always the same kind of smell. It was I don't know. Yeah, I always remember that. I've still got. Sorry, it's at his house now. One of the very, very, very old helmets that they used to wear. Just like
the red, like...
No, it wasn't red. It was yellow. Yellow, had a peak at the back as well, and then black stripes going around it with the badge on the front. Yeah. It was like that material.
Yeah.
None of the stuff that you had now.
It's come a long way. Yeah, the fire kit now is amazing.
Yes.
We've done training before where you're standing in front of... Well, you're in a room which, to put this into perspective, when you're training, they set the conditions up to 400, 500, maybe 600 degrees. And if you think your oven will only go to 225 or 50, imagine double your oven and you're in the room. And it just feels like you're next to the radiator. That's how good the kit is. You're not burning. Like, if you're in there for a while and you're in the overpressure, which is the bit above ground level, as the heat rises, you will probably start cooking a bit. But yeah, the kit is amazing. You'd be on, like, you'd see the temperature in there. You'd see a firefighter go in there and you'd be like, how's he not dead?
Wow.
So the kit is amazing now. And that's something which I guess is good, because the kit, like you say, has come a long way from, and I've heard stories from firefighters who said when they were doing it, like some of the things they told me is like, what? You wouldn't even, health and safety would be on you. You wouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't get away
Pair
with
of gloves
half
and a
the things.
helmet.
Yeah.
Or a breathing apparatus kit that looked like something you got from the old war. You know, when you go and buy those old war bits and bobs, and there's like
Yeah,
gas
just-
masks and stuff from World War Two, look just like that.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, wow.
Your gaffer's telling you, just get in there. Just
Yeah,
get in
with
there.
an axe.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Unbelievable. So you quit your position as a fireman. And what do you do now?
So this has been quite recent, probably the biggest risk I've taken so far to date. The biggest transformation I think in my life, and it's starting to pay off now, as of literally the last week. So yeah, I quit. I started making TikToks basically when I was in the fire service. I made a TikTok around this time of year. It was Christmas Day at the fire station. I was working Christmas Day at the fire station.
Last year?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was the title was Day in the Life as a Firefighter on Christmas Day. And that blew up. I think it's on about 1 million views. But that was my first video to go. And then I started thinking, crap, like I could, because I've quite an entrepreneurial mindset. I started thinking I can make a bit of money from this, but also by educating people.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big kind of advocate of kind of digital products as such, i.e. I've bought courses which have helped me. A lot of people think courses are scams. A lot of people think courses are this, that. But what I think is a scam is going to university, paying $9,000 a year for doing something you don't enjoy, or going out on the weekend, spending £200-300 to feel like shit the next day. I'd rather spend £150 on something which, £150 from someone who's teaching me how to do something, who's been doing it for 5 years, and it's something that I want to do. For example, if I wanted to start a podcast, I'd pay someone, I don't know, say £500. If they'd been doing it for 10 years and they'd shown me success, you get a better return on your investment.
100%.
So yeah, I started making fire service videos, and people would always ask me, like, I knew I had an audience of people who wanted to be in the fire service, but I couldn't do much about it because the way the fire service was, it was almost like you had to declare secondary employment. Me earning money online was secondary employment. But so I didn't do that for a while, and it kind of put me on the back burner. But I just carried on making fire service videos. And this is what I say to everyone is, like, when you first start making videos, whatever you do, people are going to take the piss. People are going to laugh at you. You've probably had it as well when you started going into work, and people, even my own crew, taking the piss and stuff. And it kind of hurts at the time. But
Yeah.
you know, you have to get over that. You have to get over that kind of that first initial period, because it's not easy. Like, it's not easy talking in front of a camera. It's not easy putting yourself online, let alone getting stick from it and carrying on doing it because you believe that, like, it's the right thing to do. So I carried on making videos, and I just wanted to I could see the potential, basically. And I watched a few creators online on growing a personal brand, this new digital economy now, the creator economy that we're in now. And I thought, I can see the potential in this. Like, I can see how scalable it is. Like, don't get me wrong, I was earning good money at the fire service, maybe £2,500 a month at 21 years old. Like, I still lived at home. Like, wasn't paying massive rent. Like, I was very comfortable. And I say this to my friends all the time. I could have quite easily stayed in the fire service for 30 years, been comfortable, wouldn't have to stress about money. I'd be okay. But I wouldn't have fulfillment. I'd look back and I'd regret things. And I don't want to do that. I don't want regrets. So I carried on making videos, and then I thought, I want to try and go do this full time. I need to try and do something. My friend, who's a DJ, went to Cyprus, Ayia Napa, which is like a party island, in the summer. And I just, like, me and him talked about it before the thing that happened a few years ago, which a lot of people, the pandemic, basically.
Yeah.
So we wanted to go abroad by then, but this was at a time where I was just applying to be a firefighter, so I couldn't go abroad with him that year. But he went, the year after, or when COVID cleared up, basically, he went, but I couldn't go because I was in the fire service. But I just felt like I needed to go and explore this. I just felt like I needed to go and start creating content. At this point, I just started a YouTube channel, started making fire service videos, learned how to use a camera, and I kept thinking to myself, if only there was a way I could make money from anywhere in the world, from just maybe my phone or laptop. That is how I'd envision my kind of nice lifestyle that I wanted to live. I wasn't stuck in the fire service. I wasn't stuck in the United Kingdom. I wanted to be able to travel but earn money online. So I started using the camera. I started learning how to use the camera, all whilst being in the fire service. And people will ask me now, should I just quit my job and go for it? But I always say, like, everyone's situation's different. Everybody's circumstances are different. I don't know how much money you've got in the bank. I don't know how much you've saved and stuff. But what I'll say to everyone is learn a skill. Learn something. For example, my example was photography. Learn something which can take you anywhere in the world, earn money, but also like that doesn't force you to kind of to also make it scalable. So like you're not earning $2,500 a month like photography. I could sell digital products. I knew I could travel anywhere in the world. I could increase my rates. I wasn't stuck on a certain rate. So I just started doing that really. And my friend who was a DJ in Cyprus, he kind of got friends with the people over there who run the pool parties, the boat parties and stuff. And he said, like, I remember him saying, like, just do something. Like, you can use your camera out here. Social media is a big thing now. Use your camera, use the photos, photography, speak to so-and-so. So I got in contact and, yeah, first year, when he went out there without me whilst I was in the fire service, I went there for a week just to visit him and spoke to the guy who kind of run the events. And he was like, mate, honestly, and this guy I rate, his name is Ben, and he reminds me of myself so much, and he says it himself, and that's why I think he's talking me in like so well, because he said he was just a guy from London. He was from London basically, grew up in London, got himself in trouble, fighting, all these things, and now he's earning a lot of money, but also doing what he enjoys, and that's the main thing. Like he's out there now. I think he lives in Cyprus now, and he's just like, he always says to me, like, you remind me a lot of my younger self. So I seen him the first week, went out there, and then next year I was thinking, I need to go and do the season. I need to go and just see where this takes me. My TikTok was growing at this point. My YouTube was growing. I was learning how to use a camera, so I got quite good at using the camera. And I thought, if I don't do it now, I might not ever get the opportunity to do it again. So I was in the fire service, I was looking at career breaks, options. I was going through a bit of stick in the fire service in terms of just like, it stems back to what I spoke to earlier about not liking a boss. Me and one of the managers there had a bit of an altercation, and I just thought, like, life's too short, man. I need to go for it. I'm not going to be this young again. I haven't got a lot of responsibilities. I didn't have my own house. Had my car. That's about it. Didn't have a girlfriend, so I just thought, I need to go for it, man. Like, I need to, next summer, like when I come back after that first week, I thought, next summer I'm going to go for it. No matter what happens this year, I'm going to do what I can and go for it. And that's when, I quit the fire service of May 2023 and took a one-way flight to Cyprus on June the 1st. So literally 2 weeks after.
Wow.
And then from then, my TikTok has grown. I started making content in iNapa. TikTok grown. And then, as of the last week, it's like, I'll even get it up now. Like, this is, for me, it's mind-blowing. Because I haven't ever seen, especially with the beta program, I haven't seen numbers. I'm just a guy from a council estate. I haven't seen this kind of money, but...
Are you on the beta program now?
Yeah.
And is it still paying? Decent?
Yeah, like the beta...
Because mine dropped off like wouldn't believe.
Really?
RPMs were down to 0, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think the lowest RPM I've had is 77p.
Wow.
And
it's still ripping now, is it?
Yeah, like to the point where, the last week I've had 3.6 million views, 220,000 likes. But yeah, it's just been crazy. And this month has been the first month. In Cyprus, I was earning more than the fire service, but I was, because I was working at the events, I had some like tickets, so people would message me for tickets, so I'd earn a bit here and there.
Yes.
But I can happily say this month now has been the first month where I've earned more, and a considerable amount more than the fire service paid me. And that's just from making videos in my car.
Isn't it an amazing feeling?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's to think that I could sit in my car and make a video for 1 minute and earn more money than working 80 hours on a building site for 2 weeks is crazy.
Crazy.
And I always knew that there was money in content creation, hence why I started YouTube. I started this, but the thing is, and this is what I feel like, a lot of it is mixed with timing and luck, because nobody knew the beta program was going to come.
I did.
You did? When?
About last February.
That's February. Oh, see, I'd only just started TikTok then, so I didn't even know about the creator fund then.
And the only reason I knew about it was because I saw a couple of American people talking about they've had an invite to some new creator program. I'm 100% got ADHD, and I've only figured this out from
thought
fucking
about
TikTok.
this about myself last week.
I think you have as well. Yeah. And I can think about 20 different things all at once, all at the same time, and I'm thinking to myself, look, TikTok's so far behind YouTube in terms of the content creator, things like that on there, but they want to be number one, and they're going to have to start paying content creators. They're going to have to start doing it. The TikTok shop was one of the things that they brought in, but there was a thing called the Creator Fund where they put about, I don't know, a few $100 million into it, and they just used to get 10p, 20p a video. It was nothing major. In the entire time I was on the Creator Fund, I made 500 quid. Which was,
considerable for what it was paying, yeah.
But I mean, you smashed that on one video now.
Yeah.
So I started hearing rumblings about this new thing that was coming out in America, and I started seeing a few people. So I thought, I know for a fact that this is coming to the UK. That's the next one, and it came to the UK at the start of September.
Yeah.
So I'd already been prepping for this before. I knew that the videos were going to have to be a minute long because I'd heard from a couple of other creators that were doing it in America. A minute long, original content. So once I got the invite, I was like, wow, this is going to be amazing. And it takes a couple of days, doesn't it, for them to do your back end thing or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But then only videos you make from that point count. So I was thinking, fuck all of the videos that I've done. Whatever. So I made a video. And it did 400 quid in like 2 days. And I'm like, wow.
Talking about the program or just talking about something else?
No, it wasn't talking about the program.
Yeah.
It was whatever it was. It might have been a couple of videos and they'd done 400 quid. And I was like, in 2-3 days, that's done as much money as my entire TikTok did. So I then made a video talking about the creator program. That did 1.5 million. That's $1.5 grand. Yeah. So in the space of like 2 days, 4 days, whatever it was, you got $2 grand. And you're like, what the fuck is this all about?
Doesn't feel real, does it?
It doesn't.
You're waking up to it and
Yeah, and it gets addictive and you're like, wow. So then you just start smashing. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. But I think that 2 words of advice for you. So they kicked me off the Creator Beta program at the start of this month for unoriginal content.
Okay.
And I'm like, what do you mean unoriginal content? It's me. Everything's me. Do not repost anything on your page that has appeared on any other social media, even if it's yours.
Literally like the repost button.
Do not do it. Don't take something from YouTube and put it on yours. If it's been online, their algorithm is now picking that up and you get penalised for unoriginal content. So we've got the Pure Waffle podcast TikTok channel and I've got my own channel, End the Struggle. We clip the videos between you and me once it's all uploaded. We clip them and you get these little viral clips. Well, Ben was uploading them onto the TikTok channel and I was uploading them onto mine. It's me doing my content
from YouTube.
No, just from TikTok.
Oh, so you was clipping them?
So we'd clip them on the internet on a package thing, Opus Pro it's called.
Oh, like an editing software.
Yes, and then he would upload it onto his, and then I would upload it onto mine.
Okay.
Or he would upload it onto Pure Waffle, and I would upload it onto mine. I got 5 violations. Bang, bang, bang. Sorry, you're off the creativity program, unoriginal content. I'm thinking, what? What do you mean? It's clearly me. So I appealed it and they restored me. And then 2 days later, gone again. Well, now I've looked into more and it's because they want totally original content. So what you're doing now, amazing. I can get taken back onto it at the end of the month.
Yeah.
But because I was putting videos that had already been, they don't want any repurposing.
Okay.
They don't want people uploading a video to YouTube and then that same video being on Instagram Reels and that same video being on TikTok and earning from all 3 of them.
Yeah.
So TikTok are super strict at the minute. So just make sure you do that. Now, I got the violations and I had no idea why. I didn't even know I'd got them. I just got one saying, you've now had 5 in the last 30 days. You're off. For unoriginal content. I'm thinking, what do you mean unoriginal content? Yeah. It's me. It's clearly me talking. But that was why.
I've had one video taken off the program, but as you say, appealed it and got it back on. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know who's looking at the videos, whether it's a bot, whether it's a person. I don't know.
But this is one thing that I do say to people. Remember that word at the end of it. It's called the beta program. That means it's in testing. This isn't the final product. And I think the algorithm's being very strict. You can't even put a clown emoji in the comments anymore. You get
I think I've seen you
yeah.
say something.
Yeah, I have
like
loads
that.
of stuff.
Yeah.
So they're all over the place. But I think something big's happening in the background. Massive.
Have you seen, obviously I presume you've got series.
Yeah.
Have you seen the notification now when you go on series? How as of I think it's the start of January, the first or second week, they're stopping anyone making a series for 2 to 3 weeks because they're working on something.
Yes.
So I don't know what they're going to do with series, but I feel
that.
like series is there's something exciting basically, I think, coming.
I think
But
so.
I said to one of the guys who I've connected with from TikTok, and he's blown. I say he's blown up, but he started TikTok 2 or 3 months ago, and I think he's about to hit 100k followers.
Wow.
To put that in comparison, I've been doing it a year or so, and I've just hit 35. And I don't think TikTok's about followers as such, but it's there. The potential's there. But anyway, I was speaking to him, and we were talking about the kind of.
I've just realised who he looks like. It's been really bugging me.
The beta program.
I know.
Who? Anthony Joshua. Yes.
You know what?
Yes.
You know what's
It's been
funny about
really
that?
fucking bugging me. I've been sat here, I'm thinking, he looks like someone. And you know, I said to you, I can think about 10 different things at the same time. That's one of the things that's been going through my head this whole time while we're having this conversation. We're talking about the money and this and that and the other.
If you didn't say it, I was going to say
Come
it.
on, look in the camera, Anthony. Here we go. My guy.
Somebody said that to me, and I actually made a video on TikTok about that.
Yeah.
Somebody kept saying like Anthony Joshua from Wish and all these kind of things. Oh. Somebody said Tommy Fury as well, which is a bit of a weird one.
Little bit.
A weird one, but I think more.
Definitely Joshua.
I've had people. The TikTok I made was about a story when I went into a calf, and there was a guy looking at me very weird in the calf, almost like I'd kind of murdered his wife or something, looking at me. And I was sitting down for a bit, and anyway, as he's left, he's come up to me. I'm like, oh no, what's he gonna say? And he said, "Do you know what? You look like the spitting image." He goes, "I was this close for asking for a photo." But yeah, people do say it.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm not complaining. It's not the worst person to be.
No.
To be
a handsome man.
I wish I had his physique, but
He's massive, isn't he?
yeah, he's,
Absolute unit. I didn't watch his fight the other day, actually. Apparently, he looked all right, but the other guy
I didn't
was
watch
supposed to be
it.
dog shit.
I didn't even watch the highlights, to be fair.
I didn't even know it was on.
No.
I don't watch TV. My TV is never on.
Yeah.
I don't watch it. Not really out of choice. I'm not one of these conspiracy theorists that think, I just don't watch it unless I watch the football.
Did you watch it before you was a creator?
Not really, no. Probably one of the reasons why me and the wife split up. She was quite into watching TV and Big Brother type stuff, all that kind of stuff. And I'm just sitting there thinking, I can't do this. It's just rotting my brain. So I taught myself to draw. When I said to you I was passionate about art, I taught myself to draw from nothing. I just taught myself to draw. So she's watching the TV, I'm learning how to draw on YouTube tutorials, and I got really good at it. Like, I sell pieces of art, drawing. Yeah, I got really good in about a year. But that was, I'd much rather be doing things like that. I've always been like that, right, let me try and figure out how to build a website, and let me learn about affiliate marketing, and let me learn about multi-level marketing. I've always been that way inclined. But, coming back to your TikTok, I've been an advocate that you have to have a TikTok channel right now.
Oh, yeah.
You have to do it.
Yeah.
And the reason you're now being rewarded financially, and I am, is because we've gone through all the bullshit at the fire service where people are coming and taking the piss out of you, and you're walking in the streets and people are laughing at you, and then your mum and dad find your content, or your dad finds it and they're like, what the fucking hell are you doing? I mean, I nearly lost my job as a tennis coach because they found something. I was reading out an Andrew Tate tweet.
Yeah.
It wouldn't say it was from Andrew Tate. I just sort of read it out, and
honestly,
somebody saw it, and they were like, so I went to but now you've gone through all of that. 95% of people would have quit.
Yeah.
At that first sign of someone laughing at them, I keep telling this joke, and it's not Gemma's mum. I'm not going to say who the name is, but when I got to round about the 35,000 follower mark, people start seeing things. And I've got 2 daughters, and they're coming home from school saying, Dad, you're doing TikTok. What are you doing TikTok for? Gemma's mum's been laughing at you, this, that, and the other. Gemma's mum wants to shag me now. So it's gone from 30,000 followers and everyone's laughing at you. Now all of a sudden they're going, wow,
Mate,
okay.
Honestly, funny you say that. On the way here.
You know Gemma's mum as well?
No. I don't, but maybe.
You might do.
But literally on the way here, I had somebody message me saying, I've just seen one of your TikToks. Like, is that you? 35,000 followers. Like, I can see hard work paying off. I remember the videos in Napa, and that's literally it now. People, like, my friends will laugh at me, or that I might post a video which they might think, oh, why is he doing that? But they don't see what I'm earning. They just think I'm just making videos just for the sake of it. And like you were saying, I know this. Everybody needs a personal brand. Just start documenting your life. Just live your life how you're living it, but just start documenting it online. You don't have to tell people your relationship with your mum. You don't have to tell people your relationship with your girlfriend if you don't want to. Just think of the things you're interested in and speak about it, because there's other people who are interested, and there's other people who will see you as an authority figure and will see you as somebody who has made the mistakes. For example, somebody might look at me now and think, oh my God, he's earning X, Y, and Z on TikTok. I want to do that. They'd rather learn off me than learn off, I don't know, someone who's never done it, or just rather than just doing it themselves. It's hard to kind of put into words, but yeah, grow a personal brand. Just start documenting your life. Even if you don't think it's going to go anywhere, even if you're still in a full-time job. You see TikToks now, like I know you watched obviously the guy, the Spud man.
Yeah.
He's in his van and he's
just
put
doing his normal
phone up.
job.
Yeah, he's just doing it. And people are finding that interesting. And you probably like me, you'll sit and watch his videos and it's just the same video. But it's so like engaging, and like you just watch it because it's interesting.
And he's probably earning more money doing that than he is from selling the potatoes.
100%.
You know, I said to somebody that I go into a coffee shop quite regularly in town, really big, massive open space, always rammed. I said, if they stuck an iPhone up in the corner and put that on a TikTok live the entire time that the shop was open, they'd get thousands of people watching it. They'd be dropping in and dropping out.
I see it now, like as I'm scrolling through, you'll get, now the Spudman's kind of blowing up, you get other people doing it at random restaurants, and everyone's starting to do it. And it's just powerful. And as you say, the TikTok beta program, it's only the beta. Who knows what TikTok's going to be in 5, 10, 15 years? Because I said this to my friend who is a creator as well on TikTok. And I was speaking to him, and we said I said to him, I said, TikTok now are just, and you probably know this, they just compete. They're all competing with each other. Everybody wants everyone, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, they all want our attention. But it's who can get the most of our attention, i.e. TikTok making the beta program 1 minute long. Instead of watching a video on TikTok for 7 seconds, you're watching it for over a minute. Mm-hmm. You're on the app for longer, you're watching advertisements more often. TikTok are getting more money from people are paying for advertisements on TikTok. If you're a business and you've got Instagram who your video might reach 2,000 people, or TikTok, or it might reach 200,000 people, who are you going to put your money into as a business to advertise your product? Or what creators are you, if there's a creator doing 2 million, or let's just say 200,000 views on TikTok, and there's a creator doing 20,000 on Instagram, you're just going to keep moving to TikTok because the reach is more. So yeah, grow a personal brand as soon as you can is the main message.
Which is amazing because you're 25, 24, whatever you are,
and
you're doing all of that.
I still wish I'd done it earlier. I do, but that's just hindsight, isn't it?
It is.
You're always going to think, what if?
Of course you are.
But more so, what if you didn't do it as well? What would happen if you didn't do it?
Yeah. And look, at the end of the day, what have you got to lose, really? And you know, look, unless you're going online and you're being a real like that Mizzy guy, whatever his name was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know,
yeah.
Unless you're going and you're causing real harm and real trouble, or you're being completely racist or completely anti-Semitic or whatever, what's the worst that can happen? Gemma's mum laughs at you and then...
Yeah, and we
you know what I mean?
People don't realise this, but nobody actually cares what you're doing.
Nobody cares.
You walk down the street and you've probably seen it, and you're on your phone recording yourself, and you might get someone look at you a bit weird. 2 minutes later, they're thinking about what their husband's doing or what they've got for dinner tonight. That nobody actually cares, and we're so irrelevant in this world. Like in 100 years, we're all going to be dead.
Yeah,
we're so irrelevant. So just do what makes you happy, and just do the most of what you can. Because at the end of the day, we're all irrelevant. We're all just a little dot on a little planet in a little galaxy, which in 100 years, no one would
50 years.
Yeah, no one would even know what your name was.
Nope. Absolutely. You know, it's amazing you saying things like that, being so young. It's that, you know, it's God, you know, I don't know if I was thinking like that. I was very self-conscious and, you know, all of those things when I was that sort of age. But now, literally, you know, it just doesn't matter. It just does not matter. It was funny because I was driving back from where I was teaching tennis maybe about a month and a half ago. And I come to this crossroads and it's a real nasty crossroads. And there was a car ahead of me there and I was coming across here. And as I've driven past, I've like seen this guy, and then in the rear mirror I can see he stopped, turned the car around, and he started chasing me. Like, oh shit! Now we're getting into a bit of a scrap here or something. What have I done wrong? Yeah. So he's flashing me. So I pull over, and he comes running over. He says, "Are you the guy off TikTok?" And I'm like, I thought we were going to have a scrap here. I'm like, yeah. He's like, man, you do not know how much you've helped me. He says, I'm going through some tough times. And he says, I've just started coming up across your stuff. I've started taking the Shilajit that you've been, you know, doing your videos about. He says, man, and as I'm just at that crossroads, it was like, I just thought, that's the guy off TikTok. So I've had to come and chase you down. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't realise how, when you pull that phone out, Cam, and you're just talking to yourself, it just feels like you're just talking to yourself, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And you have no idea that could go to 2 million people.
Well, one of my recent viral videos was about quitting vaping. And that's on, I think, 1.6 million now for about 5 days ago. And the amount of people that have messaged me saying, you know what, you've made me realise, I've opened my eyes, I'm going to stop 2024, I'm cutting it out. And say 1.6 million, say 300,000 people, say 300,000 people think that they want to stop quitting, but say only 100,000 actually do. There's still 100,000 people who I've potentially saved from an early death.
Correct.
And like, you've probably had loads of messages. Like, I had one Christmas Day about some guy saying, just to let you know, I made a video on Christmas just saying, people idolise Christmas as this thing of like happiness, joy, but nobody talks about the people who are lonely at Christmas. Nobody talks about the people who wake up to no presents, no father, no mother, no family.
He's a young end the struggle, isn't he, in the making? He's a young end the struggle, man.
But nobody talks about these things. Nobody glamorises this. Christmas is all this like big facade.
Yep. Spending as much money as we can, eating as much, pretending that you're happy, being around people that you might not really want to be around, and pretending you like them. Yeah. And at the end of it, it's like deflated.
Yeah, and the guy messaged me like on Christmas Day, man, and this is why I do it really. This when I sent a message and I thought, I'm so happy. Like, this is why. When people say, like, people ask me like, do you enjoy doing this? Do you enjoy doing this? Do I enjoy sitting in my car and talking to my phone? Not really, but I enjoy the messages and I enjoy the things that come after that. And that message, he literally said to me, like, he goes, by the way, mate, in fact, let me just get it up now just for the people watching.
But it is amazing, isn't it? And it's funny sometimes because the great messages you get come at such a poignant time. You're just having a bit of self-doubt or you've gone through a bit of shit yourself. And then all of a sudden you've got some young lad that's messaging you, you're like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
He just says, I just want to say your TikTok may have saved my life.
Wow.
This will be the first Christmas I'm not spending it with my daughter. And in all honesty, I did plan on doing something stupid tonight/tomorrow, until I see your post. And it's okay to be alone. It won't be forever. So thank you and Merry Christmas. And to think I woke up Christmas Day and potentially saved someone's life.
No, it's definitely by the sounds of it.
It's massive. It's massive.
One thing I would say to you though, Cam, and it's something that I'm really starting to get now, you can't let it take too much of your energy away and because it gets to you. It does get to you. You know, I sit and have these amazing conversations with people and then, so what I'm saying to you is make sure you give yourself some rest and time to heal from the traumas that people are putting onto you because it's not easy. People go through hundreds of hours of counselling, training and things like that to be able to deal with it. Yeah. And you and I and obviously other creators out there, it's hard to process some of the things like that. You know, that's big.
Yeah.
And so don't feel as though you have to solve everyone's problems.
No.
And if you're struggling, make sure you do reach out because it's a fucking hard job, brother.
Yeah.
People don't realise it. You know, you're sitting there, I'm sitting there 2-3 in the morning answering calls. People think we're just dickheads on TikTok that walk around the streets. They don't see what goes on behind it. Yeah. So make sure you look after yourself as well because that's only going to get more. Yeah. and you're not going to be able to respond to everybody, and that's going to make you feel guilty.
Yeah, I know. And that's another thing. You can't. Yeah, there's only so many hours in the day now.
Yeah.
But just touching on what you said, I'm very fortunate in the fact of, which I didn't speak about in the fire service, but you can probably imagine, like your father probably went through. You see a lot of things.
Yes.
I've seen some horrible
Horrendous
things. I've seen
stuff.
things at 20 years old somebody isn't never going to see in their life. And I think that does help me with realizing that everyone copes with it differently.
Yeah.
For example, we could have seen something traumatic, which we did. And it's bizarre in the fire service because you'll see something. Someone may have just lost their life. 20 minutes later, you're back at the fire station, lying down, looking at the ceiling. Bear in mind, there's this person now who's not here, his family who are there. And just like that, you're back at the fire station and life just carries on.
Yeah.
So yeah, 100%. I know that I won't be able to reply to everyone, but I'll reply to as many people as I can.
Yeah.
But 100%, yeah, mental health is a massive thing, which I've been through myself, especially in the fire service, which I haven't even spoke about. But mental health is huge. And I think mental health is one of these things which you don't fully understand until you're in the position, until you've been through it or you've suffered. Because I'd happily admit, before I'd ever suffered with mental health, I'd see people who were claiming that they were depressed and all these things. And I always used to say, like, well, not say, but I always used to think, because I didn't have an online presence at this time, I always used to think, like, oh, it can't be that bad. Or, like, surely it can't be that down. But when you actually go through it and when you actually feel it, it changes your perspective massively.
So you struggled a bit with your depression, your
anxiety
or stuff
more
like
so,
that?
yeah, more so anxiety, more so like in the back end of the fire service, which I made a full video on YouTube, 45 minutes long, as to why I quit the fire service, and I dive deeper into that, the reasons why. But yeah, looking back, it was more so the fact of, like, I just felt like there was a lot going on. I wasn't happy where I was, but I almost knew that I needed to stay there to get to where I needed to be. And it was just this constant battle in my head, waking up every day, feeling like I wasn't doing what I enjoyed. I wasn't where I wanted to be. But then still going to work and going to jobs, going to incidents where you have to switch off and you have to deal with other people and you're almost saving other people's lives. And then you get back into your car at the end of the shift and you're thinking, oh, now I've got my own life to worry about. And then that's the bad thing. But I guess my advice to any young people out there now who are struggling with mental health is just better times are coming. Do the most you can now to improve your situation. It's not easy. Nobody's saying it's easy. Nobody says it's going to be over. There's no time scale on it. Nobody says you'll be okay in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But just think about, zoom out of your life, man, and just think, like, what would my ideal life look like if I could have my dream life, maybe my dream partner, my dream kind of car, whatever. Think about it and then just think, right, how can I get to that position? Because as soon as you start, and that's what distracted me a lot when I was going through it, I just started building something more meaningful. Like, I started building something for myself. And I think as humans, we have to be, I think especially men as well, we have to almost be building something. We have to be working on something. Because when you're just sitting inside, and I've been there, man, sitting in there, you can't get out of bed all day, you're scrolling, you're just doing the same thing, you're not eating. It makes it a lot worse. So even if it's just something little as maybe starting a TikTok channel or posting your first video, or even reaching out to someone, even if you don't want to start a channel, just reach out to someone who you know will reply, because I haven't got a massive following, but you can kind of relate to them. Just reach out to them and just have a conversation. Just start doing things, little as it might be, to put yourself in a better direction, because taking one step forward is better than taking no steps forward. Mm-hmm. So that's my message, man, to anyone who is going through a hard time, because I look back now, and don't get me wrong, we all have our problems in our life. Life, in my opinion, is never going to be perfect. I said it on a video, and it's like life I see as like a graph. It's up and down all day. Same with TikTok. Literally the same as like your TikTok views. If you're worrying that your views are getting low, it's just up and down. It's just cycles. No one's life is like a direct linear kind of graph, and you're gonna have ups and downs. And just know that when you're going through downs, there's gonna be an up on the way. For example, in the fire service, I was thinking some mad things, man, and I didn't know that. You think when I was in the fire service, I knew that in 5 months, 4 months down the line, I'd be earning a lot more now, doing something I enjoyed. No, because you don't look at it like that. But I'm just happy that I'm not in that position now. But yeah, anyone who's in there, just keep going, man, because there are better times ahead.
And I also think that you can't enjoy the highs unless you've had the lows.
Yeah.
If everything, if all you've ever driven in your life is a Lamborghini, it's just a normal car to you.
Yeah.
But if you've had a clapped out Fiesta, like I did, that it was funny because my Fiesta was so bad that it had a leak in the radiator, and me and my mates are driving from Sheffield back to where we live here, and it was late at night. We'd been out clubbing or something, and fucking radiators. So you have to stop, it's overheating. So we've all pissed into bottles and put that into the radiator to get us back. Because where we'd stopped, it wasn't at a service station, it was just in the middle of the thing.
That's mad, that is.
You ain't got fucking AA and stuff like that. We were 18-year-old lads. Yeah. So I'm thinking to myself, right, well, basically it's basically water, isn't it? If we could get enough into the radiator, it's going to get us back. And it did.
Yeah.
But that makes me appreciate it when you get a nicer car, that you don't have to piss in the radiator.
Yeah. It's that's another thing, isn't it? When you come from nothing, or when you experience bad times, it just makes the good times even better.
It does.
I'm actually quite grateful that I wasn't brought into kind of money or things, because you'd be a completely different person.
Yeah.
And you'll often find that, especially on the topic of money, people who are brought into money are quite quickly the ones that don't make it last. Mm-hmm. They say, like, if a millionaire won the lot, if someone won the lottery and become a millionaire, if you had someone who had never seen money in their life and someone who did, the one who did, it'd be gone within the months, because they don't see the value. You don't see the value of things, do you, until you've experienced not having it. And the car's a perfect example. When I'd grown up, man, I'd probably you did like a shitty little Fiat.
Yeah.
I think it cost me like 800 quid. But that was a lot of money at the time, man. That was a lot. That's all I could afford at the time. And when I had it, it's the best thing ever. I had a car.
Best thing ever. It's a car.
I could go anywhere. I could drive myself to work. I didn't have to worry about asking my granddad. Or if I wanted to go to McDonald's drive-through, I could. If I wanted to go and pick a girl up, I could.
Until she saw the car and then she ran off.
Yeah.
But I can never ever understand. One of my good mates, a few years ago, was a mechanic, and he said to me, and as soon as he said it to me, I was like, God, you're so right. He said the amount of people that he knows that have got a nice car and they're paying £400-500 a month for it, they're only earning 1,800 quid a month. He says, so essentially, they're driving to work to pay to drive to work. Yeah. He said, get yourself a £500 car, run it until it doesn't run anymore, then sell it for scrap. You'll probably get 200-300 quid back, buy another £500 car. Get rid of your ego, get rid of all of that crap, because the person that you're pulling up next to at the traffic lights, who's got the nice BMW or the nice Merc, they ain't got any more money, because the petrol they're putting in it, the tax, the MOT, the insurance, they're not earning much more than that anyway. So they're driving to work to have the privilege to drive to work. Yeah. And as soon as he said that to me, I was like, wow. So I went through years of having shit car after 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 shit car. And I think, it's like I say to people now, I have no real desire to have a really fancy car.
It's funny you say that, yeah. I've just got, the last year or so, I'd done something which I hate myself for it, and I wish I never done it, but I got a BMW, and that was, I don't know why I got it. Well, I'll tell you why I got it.
You know why you got it.
The reason I got it was because I wanted to, I had shit car after shit car, and I was in the garage every other month, and I just thought, I want something more reliable. Yeah. I want something a bit more sturdy. Didn't really have the money at the time.
Got it on finance.
Stupidly took a loan out. So basically, I'm still paying it on finance. Worst decision I've made in my life, but I'm happy I've made that decision.
At 25,
Yeah.
24, yep.
And now the thing is, I'd happily sell that car. And it's on auto trade at the moment. I'm trying to sell it, and I'd happily drive a £1,000 car, 1,500. Because if I hit the curb or if I do this or
It doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter. And you don't. I think once you have a nice car, you feel like you don't. The novelty wears off, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like this isn't all what it.
There's an old, I think it's an old Buddhist saying. I'm sure it is, and essentially their outlook on life is every single thing around you is going towards a state of disrepair and brokenness. Everything, that microphone you're holding, that light, everything is going to rubble essentially, and all you are is you're just the carer for that product at that part of its stage. Yeah. So you buy your brand new BMW, 10 years time, that's going to be on the scrap heap and it's going to have scratches. Everything's going to get a ding and a scratch and this and that and the other. And if you think about it like that, you're like, why would I ever go and buy a £50,000 brand new car? Because I've got that at the start of its life cycle, but it's ending up back there. You may as well get it when it's halfway through for a quarter of the price. And like you say, not worry about dinging the whatever it is. But people get so wrapped up in this, I've got to impress that person or they've got this new car. Some people love the cars, don't get me wrong. And some people love the watches and all that kind of stuff.
It's lifestyle inflation as well.
Yeah.
What you'll notice is as you'll get someone who just starts off in a job, and I've noticed it now with my friends, and we all do it, but that's just because of the society that we've been brought into. You might have a pay rise and you've been, I've got an extra £300 a month here. And you'll think that's like extra. So you'll think, I can get this car and it's not going to damage anything. You keep going, you keep going, you keep going. And before you know it, you've got a mortgage which you're overpaying, well, not overpaying for, but a mortgage which is ridiculous. You've got a car which is ridiculous, but you can't leave your job because
you've got to pay for them.
Your lifestyle inflation, you're almost stuck.
Yes, you are.
I'd say that's probably 80-90% of people right now.
It's slavery.
Yeah.
It's slavery, isn't it?
Yeah.
Modern day slavery.
Yeah, yeah. When you say it like that, 100%.
Because you can't get out of it, no matter what you want. No matter what, you can't just stop paying your mortgage and your gas and electric bill and your car finance. So you have to stay in that little village that you live in, living in that 3-bedroom, semi-detached house that you've got, that you spend no time in there because you sleep in there, you wake up in the morning, you go to work, and you get these tokens at the end of it. You know, if you think back to what slavery was, you know, and I'm not an expert on slavery, but as I'm aware, you used to work all day, you were fed, and you had a house to live in. Yeah. You might have had weekends off. Yeah. What's the difference now? Yeah. The only difference is we get these tokens that we then have to give back for our food and our bedding and our house. Yeah, it's and if the bank comes to you and says, actually, we want your house back now, there's nothing you can say about it. You think you own the house. You don't. The bank owns it.
Oh, 100%.
And even if you've paid your mortgage off, if you do something wrong, they'll come and take it off of you.
Yeah, yeah. Like, and the money in the bank's not yours.
We're in an open-air prison, essentially.
Yeah, and I was gonna mention something. You made a good point about... I've lost my train of thought now. You're talking about banks.
But they're the slave masters. Yeah. The banks are the slave masters now.
Yeah.
We feel we're free, but we're not free. And I fell into that trap when I was very young, and it was another one of the things that I said on that video where it's 5 things you should never do. I got to 18, and I thought, I can get a credit card now. I can get a store card now. I can get a mobile phone under my own name now. And all of a sudden, you go to Meadowhall with your girlfriend and spend 600 quid on shit that you didn't need. That's on your credit card. Now, all of a sudden, you've got a £40 a month credit card bill and a £40 a month phone card bill or whatever it is. And now you're having to go to work. Yeah. So at 18 years old, when your mates are going, look, we're all going off to do X, Y, and Z. Do you want to come with us? You're like, I can't. I've got to work.
It's just come back to me. Yeah. People say in the UK especially, a lot of people, we're not living, we're just existing.
Correct.
And it's so true. You're not, because I've travelled, I've been to different countries, different places of the world, and the difference in the quality of life. For example, when I went to Barcelona, people are finishing work and everyone just looks more happier, and they're going to the beach, they're doing these things, they're going on runs. In the UK, you finish work, you go home, your missus might put Netflix on, or you might do this, you might
have a couple of beers.
Yeah, a couple of beers, and
Yep.
it's dark, it's
Yep.
grey, and you haven't got money to do anything because you've got all these outgoings coming out your bank. Whereas, yeah, like, you just exist in here, and it's a trap which is installed, I think, from school days. Like, who was it? I think there's somebody, it might be Elon Musk or someone who's just had a baby, someone quite kind of famous as such.
Quite famous. Elon Musk is quite famous.
Just casually, richest man in the world. But they said they're not taking their kids, they're not putting their kids through school.
Yeah.
They're teaching their kids what they need to know, and that's just how it's going. I think the education system now, people are becoming more aware.
It's worthless, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's face it, it's worthless.
It's just dated, isn't it? It's very dated, and I think we're in a massive, like...
How many schools and universities have got someone like me and you doing lectures on how to do social media?
Exactly, yeah.
How many?
To put it into
Probably none.
Yeah. When I started making videos on the fire service, think about this, I've got about 100, 200 policies in their kind of documents. Not one policy spoke about, like, the fire service on social media. Just think about, like, the grand scheme of things. I was the first firefighter to create a personal brand as a firefighter on social media. You'd have kind of, I don't know, let's just say Leicester Fire Community TikTok, like a group, communal one. But as a person, as a creator, and I just didn't know how to deal with it. I remember having interviews and stuff about my videos and what I couldn't post.
And they can't find a policy that you've broken.
The guy at the union even said to me, he said, there's no policy on what you can and can't do, so they haven't got a leg to stand on. And I think since I've left, there's been a policy on things now. But that's just how new and how much things are changing now. And I said to them, you don't like some of the things that I'm posting, maybe because it might give a bad image, or there might be a video of me washing my car, so you don't want the public to think that. But think of the people who are younger than me, who are gonna grow up around social media a lot younger than what I did. You're just going to keep getting more and more people doing the same thing.
Well, the problem is you've got dinosaurs that don't know about any of this stuff.
Yeah.
You've got people making regulations on crypto that have never done crypto. You've got people that are making regulations on social media that have never done anything on social media. And they're making the decisions based on 1960s kind of outlook on life and things like that.
Yeah, and I think you're a good example as well. Like you're 45.
Yes.
There's probably a lot of people your age who don't have a clue.
Haven't got a clue.
Haven't got one single clue. Like my mum, I had a letter come through the post the other week, and it was off Google AdSense. It's basically how you get paid for YouTube.
Yes.
She was like, Google AdSense? She goes, why are Google paying you? Obviously from YouTube, and I just laughed to myself. I was like, that's just like a wage slip. Like that's just the same, but it's just so random to her.
People can't fathom what. Wait, you make money from? How do you make money from TikTok? What do you mean? And they just can't get your head around it. I mean, my dad came here the other week. I was doing an interview. Two lads actually, similar sort of age too. Actually, looked a little bit like Curtis, didn't they? Two young lads, clued up. One's a model, one's a footballer. And my dad came down before, and he's like, "I just don't understand why you lads are here. You know, what's the purpose of this? We're just going to sit and have a conversation for a couple of hours. Why? Yeah. And what's in it for you?" And he just couldn't fathom that. And now he's listened to a few of my podcasts and he's like, I get it. Yeah. He said, it's amazing. Yeah. He said, you're just sitting there and talking to somebody. And I had a dominatrix woman on the other day.
Oh, I don't know if I've seen that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Like, unbelievable. But she comes in and she's this dominatrix and whatever. And by the end of it, it's just two normal people having a conversation about her life and what she's done. Yeah. And my dad was like, oh my God, that was amazing. Do you know what I mean? Now, of all the things, you're thinking, God, I don't really want my dad seeing me doing a podcast with a dominatrix. But he's watched it and he's like, I totally get it. Yeah. He said, amazing. What a story she's got. And he's blown away by it. And the dinosaurs just don't get it.
No, it's mad. And it's even crazy to think when I'm 45 and I'm sitting here talking to a 24-year-old, what the different world that they're in.
Unbelievable.
But I think because I've been through it, I'll understand it to an extent, but I'll still be thinking, wait, what? You're doing that?
But the thing that gets me as well, there's so many people that don't want to learn it. It's not that my dad couldn't understand social media. He doesn't want to. He doesn't have a need to.
Yeah.
But anybody that's 40, 45, you need to.
Yeah.
Because you ain't going to get out of that shitty job at the bank with the people you don't
No
like.
chance.
Doing it. You're not doing it any other way. You ain't doing it on Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to do it on YouTube now unless you've got other ways of filtering them to it. You know, our YouTube channel is doing okay because we're putting the content out on TikTok and we're talking about it.
Yeah.
But I think starting from scratch, TikTok's the only one. And I think that's going to get less and less of an opportunity over the next year.
Yeah. And the best thing is about it now, it's free.
It's free.
It's completely free.
For now.
For now, yeah, potentially.
Because they're going to do ads just like YouTube do. And you're going to be able to pay a subscription to be ad-free.
You reckon?
I'm telling you now, yeah.
I can
I've
see
seen
it,
it.
yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
They're going to be doing 30-minute videos very soon.
I've seen that, yes.
Very soon, 30-minute videos.
Which is going to be a bit, could be a podcast.
Will be a podcast.
It will be.
Will be, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's...
Because then you've got an advert at the start, adverts in the middle, and an advert at the end.
And what's a 30-minute podcast? Nothing. People say, oh,
Nothing.
2 hours, that's a long time. But 30 minutes?
Nothing.
You spend that scrolling on TikTok anyway.
Or you just cut your 2-hour podcast up into 4 parts and have part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. Yeah. But that's the way they're going. They're trying to get away from this dancing, viral, stitching, filter kind of image, and they want it to be original, educational, funny, real content.
Yeah,
and I understand it. I understand why you're getting violations for this and that, and you can't talk about the pandemic, and you can't talk about anything that's too political, because at the minute they've got this. It's crazy because Instagram Reels now is what TikTok was 5 years ago. You see some mad shit on there. Every time he pulls his phone out and puts Instagram Reels on, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And you think, God, that's what TikTok was. TikTok used to be the Wild West.
Oh, yeah. You see
And
some
it was
crazy things,
anything on there. People dying.
Yeah.
You know, just the most stupid, crazy stuff. But it was amazing because it was like the true expression of human beings. All the good, all the bad. All the stuff he did agree with, all the stuff he didn't agree with.
Yeah.
And I think it's becoming a little bit more, well, it's definitely become a lot more strict, but it's just becoming quite sanitized, and there's not, you're scrolling through it and you're thinking,
Yeah.
yeah. There's not a lot there now that...
Nothing's really exciting as how it used to be.
Whereas I'll go on Instagram Reels and it's
Yeah.
Wild Westy, like, fucking hell.
yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at people getting, what were they doing the other day? It was like car crashes and stuff, but as the cars have crashed, someone's come flying out the window and, you know, just mad shit like that. And you're like, you couldn't get that on TikTok now. No way. You'd get a violation for it.
And I'm to be fair, like you as well, I look at it as a business, so I'm all for as long as they keep favouring the creators, which I think they will do, because like I keep saying, I spoke to the guy on TikTok who I've met through TikTok, and I was talking to him, and one of the things I said to him was like, the people now were like, what was I just saying? I've completely lost my train. I think I've got ADHD.
You have?
I think I have.
I did a test the other day, one of them online ones. It was like 98% positive ADHD.
Yeah. I'm scared to do one because I know what it's gonna tell me. I think I was just going to mention how I might have already said this.
You were saying how how TikTok are going to have to start looking after the creators.
Oh yeah.
You spoke to your mate,
and I think I've already spoke about this earlier on, and it's just the fact that like we're the ones that essentially run TikTok.
Yes.
We're what's paying
Yes.
We're paying TikTok.
Yeah. Because without us, there is no TikTok.
Like that. Yeah.
There is no TikTok, and people don't realise how broad a wedge you've got of people that consume, and how small it is at the top of the actual creators.
Yeah.
You know,
I can
it's
imagine.
ridiculous.
I don't even know the numbers of the people that go on TikTok daily, but
billions,
I bet
isn't
it's
it?
ridiculous.
It's billions.
Yeah.
Which is mad, and it's what I say to people. You're only ever one video away from changing your life.
100%. Yeah.
But that could be for the best or the worst.
Yeah.
Because you do some silly shit that Mizzy guy did, all of a sudden, your fucking face is known for being that dickhead. So what's this? 1 billion monthly active users. TikTok 1 billion. Instagram still 1.4 billion. And Snapchat's only 500 mil.
I'd say that, yeah, that does look correct. But if you got a graph of showing the trajectory
Yes.
this year.
Yes.
TikTok,
Yes.
Instagram.
Yes.
Instagram, I think, is bigger because it's probably been it has been around
Been
longer.
around
Yeah.
a lot longer, hasn't it?
But I'd love to look at that in 5 years or 3 years. Or
Yeah. I was watching,
billion.
I can't remember who I was watching on one of the podcasts, and the guest on there was saying that, it was Gary V. He was talking about it, and he says he's pretty sure that there's going to be one more social media that comes out before it all goes artificial intelligence and VR that's going to really up the odds that TikTok have had. And instead of your video getting the potential of doing 2 million views, it could do 300 million views. And that hook that's going to give you, whether it's a new algorithm change with TikTok, but ultimately, the reason you and I are here on TikTok right now and discussing this on YouTube is because it played our brain and dopamine hit perfectly. Right at the start, it gives you a load of attention. You think, wow, this is good. And then it takes it away from you. Yeah. And then it gives it you again. And it's just like being in the slot machines and you put your pound after pound after pound in. And once you've lost 15 quid in there, you're like, shit. Yeah. But then you win 8 quid. And it feels like a win. Yeah. But it's actually a loss camouflaged as a win.
Yeah, I see it. You see,
and that's what TikTok is.
In my videos.
Yes.
I watch my videos that have done viral and I just watch them and I think, why have these done viral?
Yep.
And I'll first look at it and the hook was good. About 10 seconds in, I might say something which is going to keep them hooking. Like the one about smoking. The hook was like, let's just leave vaping in 2023. But then about 10 seconds in, I said, this video is going to change your life or save your life. And that's just something else in someone's video, in someone's mind to watch it a bit further because you're getting that dopamine. You're like, wait, this guy's going to save my life. And then then later on in the video, I might mention something that helped me. Yes. And then someone can relate to that thinking, oh, that might help me. And then it's just these things. And like you say, you're scrolling on TikTok and it's like as hard as it is, if you're scrolling, there's going to be videos that catch your eye because the algorithm knows what you want to watch. The algorithm knows what's going to hook you. And I'll find myself doing it. I'll watch a video for a minute, 2 minutes, even though I know the creator's getting paid, even though I know, because I'm a creator, I know what he's doing. I know he's hooking me. I know he's doing this. And I'll still watch it.
And you still can't not watch it.
And I still can't not watch it.
Yeah. So you imagine somebody that's got absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
It's just easy. So here we go then. So TikTok engagement keeps going up. So average monthly hours spent per user, TikTok's 25.7 hours. Instagram's only 7.9.
And that was only 2021.
So that's from 2018 to 2021.
Is that when it launched? Yeah.
So I can remember when TikTok first launched, it was actually called Musical.ly, music.ly. Yes. Because my daughters had it. And it literally was just dancing and lip syncing to music. That's all it was. And then it changed to TikTok. And again, I was never into it. And, it was only...
My friends started watching it, and I just used to look at TikTok and you say, I'm not downloading that. It's just girls dancing.
Just girls dancing,
I download that. And I downloaded it. And then there was educational content. And I thought, I'm getting a different side to TikTok here.
Yeah.
And that's what hooked me because it was short form. I wasn't spending a lot of time watching it, so I felt like I was not being as unproductive, even though I definitely was.
You definitely were, yeah.
Yeah. But it's mad how it will trigger your mind and it does it to everyone.
But do you not, I'm probably doing both of us an injustice here because we don't want people to stop watching TikTok. But when's the last time that you watched a TikTok that you can remember that you're going to go to me, I can remember watching this TikTok, it was amazing?
Yeah, that's scary.
When's the last time you watched something on YouTube that you can? Or a podcast? You can?
Yeah.
You definitely can.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So even though it's all educational, even though it's this and that and the other, you don't remember any of it. It's disposable. It's completely disposable.
That's mad, that is, yeah.
And that's why I say to people when they come and do a consultation or, a coaching, online coaching about their TikTok, treat every piece of content as though it is going to be discarded tomorrow. So people that see it now, they're not going to even remember it tomorrow. So you can play around and mess about and change things up as much as you like because it's completely disposable content.
Even the videos that I save and stuff, I don't even remember them.
Never.
I save them because I think I want to remember.
Yeah, I watch that again. I want to see it. Never do it. Never do it. I can't remember the last time. I can remember plenty of times when I've phoned my mate up and says, oh man, I've just watched this podcast on YouTube. It's amazing. I'll send it to you. It's really good. Or just listen to this audio book. Amazing. Let me send you the link to it. I ain't never done that with a TikTok other than something's made me laugh and I'll just send it to you just for a bit of a piss take and that's it.
And then you both forget about it.
And then you've both forgotten about it. I mean, you can probably only remember 4 or 5 really, really funny TikToks that you've seen before, if you think about it now.
Yeah,
But you've probably seen millions.
Yeah, it's scary. Yeah.
So it's complete clickbait, disposable content. And if you understand that, it gives you free rein to do whatever you want. You understand the hook, you understand this. And that's why what you talk about building a personal brand is really important, because people go too niche. I don't think you need to be niche at all.
Oh, no.
Not
no,
at all.
No.
You've got videos about being a fireman. You've got videos about this. You've probably spoken about money and cars and all of these things. So all of a sudden, TikTok doesn't really know what you're. It's not pigeonholing you into the world of Warcraft, and that's it.
Yeah.
Which you might do all right there. But how do you monetize anything other than World of Warcraft off of that?
You're just known as that guy that plays World of Warcraft.
Yes.
You're just known as that.
Which
and that's why I didn't want to be known as the firefighter.
Yes.
Because I knew very early, and I've watched and I've had a course on personal branding, and don't niche down, man.
No.
If you're starting out, just talk about what you're interested in.
Yes.
Whether that's 5 things, 10 things, just talk about it.
But equally, you're not a fireman anymore now. So you'd have had to have stopped that. It's done.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
It's done.
Yeah, exactly.
And I say this to people as well. If you're getting into it you and I got into TikTok when there was no money. Yeah? So we were making content because we enjoyed it.
Yeah.
That's going to stand us in good stead. Because if you were only doing it for the money, when that money dries up or the ideas dry up, then what are you going to do?
Yeah.
If you're not making content for the real reasons.
And that's why I'm big on building. I've got an email list. If you're aware of an email list, like a newsletter, called it Mindset Mondays.
And what have you put it on a link tray on your bio?
It's the link in my bio.
Yeah.
It's completely free to sign up.
Yep.
But the idea is every Sunday, I'll sit down, and every Monday I'll send out a newsletter, 5 minutes of reading, just something that I've learned this week, something that's helped my mindset.
Yep.
But that's my way of building outside of TikTok, because this is
Yep.
something I'll recommend to any. You probably do the same to people you consult with. TikTok, just be careful, just diversify basically. You don't know whether it's going to be gone tomorrow. Nobody knows.
You can switch your account off just like that.
So, yeah, literally simple as that. So just diversify yourself. Build on Instagram if you can. Build on YouTube. Build an email list. Because if it all goes tits up, you've still got your core kind of audience.
Yeah.
And that's part of personal branding. And that's another thing. If you're too niche, if I'm making videos about the fire service, who's going to join my email list when I talk about, I don't know, photography? Because they're not interested in photography.
No.
They're interested
Like,
in the
what
fire
the fuck
service.
does a fireman know about photography?
But if I'm making videos about my life, my journey as a firefighter, and other things I'm interested in here and there, drop a video here and there, they'll be like, do you know what? I can see how photography made him live the life he's living, how it enabled him to travel. I enjoy traveling. Let me have a look and see if I like photography. And it's mental.
And also, if people can see that you've made them complete switches in your life, God, he's gone from doing that to that.
It's a story.
It's a story.
I get
That's
people
what it
message
is.
me now saying, I was on live on TikTok the other day. He said, I've been watching you since you first made your fire service videos, and I'm so happy to see where you've come from.
Yeah.
And he's been through the journey that I've been through because I've been documenting it.
But equally, what you're offering, what we're both offering, and I guess other TikTokers as well, you're offering them the blueprint. They can scroll right down to your first ever TikTok, and without knowing it, that's the instruction manual to where you are now, to where I am now, to where whoever is now. And that's the beauty of it. You know, it's step by step. God, look at that. I don't know if you've been on there long enough now. Do you get the video of what I did a year ago?
Yeah, that's how the fire service day in the life firefighter come up,
Isn't it amazing to see, just from what you were doing a year ago, how different it was?
Yeah.
I had no direction, no vision, no idea. Every video was different. I'd try a stitch, I'd try a duet, I'd try taking the piss out of someone. I'd get a little video of some bird with big tits that pops up, and then as that goes off, I go, right, stop looking at birds with big tits, go and get in the gym or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Just had no idea, just finding my voice. And that was one of the videos that fucking LTA didn't like.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, it was one of them girls that's bouncing. You know, you see them all the time.
Stop
and then,
what you're doing.
Then I said, get off there, stop watching her. You go, do you know what I mean? They're funny. Lads like that found that fucking funny. And a couple of lads have gone to me, fucking hell, I've caught myself so many times, Nick. I've been in the gym,
100%.
scrolling, and this bird comes up, and then you come up, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll get back on it. Do you know what I mean? It's just funny, but people don't understand that. So yeah, had no direction, no real on. I don't know what it was. It was just total trial and error.
Yeah, 100%.
And then you can see where, actually, I've obviously watched a video or learnt something about putting a title at the top. And then all of a sudden, every one of my videos had a title, but I tried different colours and different schemes and different fonts. And then you can see, actually, now he's standardised it. Oh, everyone's got this colour now, that font.
Yeah.
And then, he's now using hashtags that aren't FYP, TikTok.
Yeah.
They're relative to the content. And, now there's a longer description. Yeah. And you can see that. So anybody that says, I can't do what you've done, yes, you fucking well can.
Yeah, and it's the same with even the big creators. And I say this to people, is nobody started with 1 million followers. No. Nobody started with 200,000 followers. No. Everyone started at 0.
Yep.
It's as simple as that. We all started.
And so did Roger Federer, and so did Michael Jordan, and so did Lewis Hamilton. They all started at 0 in their chosen fields.
Yeah, that's it. You just, and I'm a true believer in, and I think I'm proof to this, is that you can, if you set your mind on something, you can do it.
Yeah.
I quit the fire service in, I guess, hope or with the goal of earning money online to sustain myself. And I'm doing it. I'm living proof that I'm doing it. I don't know if it's going to last 5, 10, 15 years. Who knows? But I'm going to keep working harder. And the harder I work, I've got this kind of sense that I always know and feel that like everything will work out. If I was to, I'm literally getting a one-way flight to Thailand in January to go out and travel there, make content out there. People say to me like, what are you going to do? You're not scared, or what? How's it going to go? But I just know that it will work out. I just know that, like you starting this podcast, you throw yourself in the deep end, you'll figure it out along the way.
Yeah.
Whether that's creating content, whether that's moving to a different country, quitting your job and starting a new job which you don't know anyone in, you're going to work it out, man. You're going to work it out.
Or you're not.
Or you're not.
And then you figure
learn.
out. You learn from it.
I've failed loads, and you probably have as well. I've failed so many times.
Yes.
I've lost money. I've
Yep.
done all these things, but I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't.
No. And just think about how many more opportunities you've got ahead of you to keep failing at things.
Yeah.
And people don't look at that. That is all things being equal, and we both live to 80. You've got fucking 20 years on me. You've got 20 years more failures.
Yeah.
You imagine where you could be when you're 45 if you just compound those failures as often as you can and learn from them and learn from them and learn from them. There's a really, really good book, and it's called The Slight Edge.
I haven't heard of that.
One of the best books I've ever read. And I'm sure it's in that book, but they talk about start out with a plan, but understand that the plan that you end up with is quite often nothing like what you started out the plan.
Yeah.
So somebody at the start of their TikTok journey, I want to be a YouTube gamer, but I'm going to start on TikTok. Now, during that process of you figuring things out, you might end up being a podcaster that talks about video games, which is not actually the plan that you had to set out with. And people sometimes get too fixated on where they're going and what they want it to be, rather than the actual journey itself. And in this book, they talk about the shuttle, the space shuttle, or any rocket on its journey from the Earth to the Moon. And all these dickhead flat earthers are going to say it doesn't. Fuck off. There are hundreds and hundreds of course corrections. It looks as though it goes a straight line from here to the moon or wherever. Yeah. But actually, there's hundreds of course corrections the whole way through it. The same as if you so who's it by? The Slight Edge? Olsen. Jeff Olsen. Fucking sick book, mate. If you're going down, when you're driving back today to Birmingham, if you just lock your steering wheel with both of your arms like that, how long do you think it's going to take until you're off the road, even though the road looks straight?
Not very long.
Not very long. Yeah. Because there's constant course correction the entire way. That slight turn. So it appears that you're going in a straight line from A to B. The road looks dead straight. I can assure you it isn't. Just like that journey from Earth to the moon isn't a straight line, although it appears it. And people think that your journey from 0 followers to TikTok fame was a straight line. It wasn't. No. It was started to go off onto this path, and then, of course, corrected over there. And, that works a bit better, so I'll go here. And it's this ziggy-zaggy line. Yeah. So there's a good one, isn't it? What's uncomfortable early becomes comfortable later, definitely. What's comfortable early becomes uncomfortable later. Yeah.
Comfort zone's a massive one.
Yeah.
Get outside your comfort zone. I love being outside my comfort zone. I love, like you, for example, starting this podcast, massively outside your comfort zone. But it's where you learn. It's where the growth is.
Yeah.
If you was comfortable, if I was in the fire service still, I wouldn't have learned how to do social media. I wouldn't have made the money that I've made from social media. I wouldn't be where I am today. And like that says, what's comfortable early becomes uncomfortable later.
100%.
If you get comfortable in your job, your relationship, you're not happy, you know you're not happy, but it's okay. You'll just tick off and you'll carry on. 10, 20, 30 years down the line, I don't know, you're fat, you're old, you've got loads of regret, you're not happy in your relationship, and you're just thinking, what if, man? So, yeah.
And you also learn to become adaptable. You know, throwing yourself in at the deep end allows you to throw yourself in the deep end even more often.
Yeah.
Let's go and do this. My mate said to me the other day, says, it was yesterday, he's like, oh, me and such and such are going to Thailand in, I don't know, whenever it was, June or something like that. I said, well, what are you doing? He said, we're going to a Thai boxing retreat and just training. Do you want to come? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
How long are you going for? He said 7 weeks. I ain't doing 7 weeks. I'll come on. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, that's,
do you know
that's
what I mean?
funny you say that. That's one of the things I want to do, yeah. Yeah.
Just some fucking crazy you know,
yeah.
I can imagine it's like one of these films that you've seen. And it's going to be horrendous.
Oh, yeah.
But amazing at the same time.
Yeah.
And then you come back and you go, wow.
Yeah.
I've met this person. I've learnt this. I've understood this about myself, whatever it is. But most people are going, nah, I'm not doing that.
And doing that could set you on a whole different path.
Yes.
You could start
Yes.
talking about Thai boxing
Yes.
on TikTok, and then who knows? And
You just don't know. You just do not know. But I can assure you one thing, if you sit in that 4 walls of your bedroom every day, playing Call of Duty, smoking weed, not going outside, not going out of your comfort zone, nothing's gonna come and present itself to you.
yeah, I say to people now, like, if you don't change anything in your life won't change.
Correct.
And it's as simple as that.
100%. But it's also as well, it's having the ability to see these things. So there's this this theory or this saying or whatever it was. So your drive from here to your house to Loughborough today, how many silver cars did you see?
Don't know, do you?
You definitely saw some though, didn't you?
Yeah.
Now, if I'd have said to you on the phone before you left out, I said, Cam, I'm going to give you £1 for every silver car you see. And when you get here, tell me how many you've seen and I'll give you the monetary value. You'd know, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So those silver cars were there.
Yeah.
They were just there. All that's happened is we switched your focus and you are now looking for them.
Yeah.
So people that are out there trying new things, looking for opportunities, start to see them. People say, oh, but you're just lucky. No. There's nothing lucky about what I've done or about what you've done. You've just opened your mind up to the possibilities, been okay with failing, and put your mind in a different frame compared to the person that just stays inside and just does this and just does that. So we get rewarded later on and people go, that's not fair. You know, David Beckham getting paid £200 a week. People go, that's not fair. No. He's not getting paid £200 a week. He's getting paid for all of that stuff that he did since he was 4 and 5. Yeah. When nobody believed in him, when he wasn't earning any money, when he missed his nights out with his mates, when he wasn't able to go and start drinking down the park with all of that, he got nothing for. What's uncomfortable early becomes comfortable later. Well, if this is where Beckham's earning all the big money, this is where he earned nothing.
Yeah, it's like the iceberg effect, isn't it? The picture of the iceberg.
Yes.
Everyone knows about the iceberg.
Of course.
It's the work you don't see, man. It's the editing the TikToks where you're not getting paid. It's replying to the comments, which doesn't really benefit you as such, but it's the work behind closed doors, which it's the replying to people, it's building the relationships, it's the I don't know, I'm sure you've spent late nights in this studio putting the work in.
Yeah.
It's the thing.
The shit out of that locker up there. We were just headbutting that locker the other night, running and smashing it, bang. Yeah, but
I can imagine.
Yeah.
And it's
equally,
it's the same with anything. It's the same with whatever you do in life, man. Just get uncomfortable. Do the things when you know you're not being watched, because you'll be praised later on, man. As long as you stay to it and just don't give up. I've made videos, and I'm sure you probably have, where I thought, this video is a really good video.
It's going to bang.
Yeah, this video is going to go viral. Like, the quality, the value I'm giving in this video. You post it, and it's one of your worst videos.
Bombs.
Yeah. And it's the ones where you think, this is a rubbish video.
Yeah, I'm just going to make it for the sake of making one today.
Yeah, I'm just going to make it. I'm just going to post it. And it's the most viral video you've made. And that's the power of TikTok as well. like you said earlier, like one video can change your life.
Can
You've
change
seen
your
it.
life.
You've seen it. Like,
Yeah.
you've seen the guy Bevo. I'm sure I've
Yes.
TikTok, the guy that eats dinners. Yeah,
The guy that eats dinners. Is that what he does? I just see him knocking about with Ed Matthews and stuff now.
pisses me off, man. He does, but fair play to him, man.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how long he's been doing these videos and stuff, but he's almost found. He's found his style.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as much people don't like him or might it just piss me off a bit, but I've got to respect him because he's earning a fucking lot of money from eating dinner.
Have you seen the guy that goes, Lukey,
Oh my
Wookie, woo woo? Every video's the same.
Yeah.
But you're like, fucking hell.
One of my friends is called Luke, and we always send it him to piss him off, man.
Well, I've got a mate that looks like him.
Oh, even worse.
I sent that to him and he's like, fuck, I'm going to get my hair cut now because I don't want to be associated to him.
I've seen him, yeah.
But it's what I say to people that we saw from the charts there. There are that many people watching that much TikTok per day, per week, that no matter what your content is, there are going to be people out there that like it. All your job is to do is to find them.
Yeah. Like
It's to find them and find what you're happy making.
Yeah, that's it. And that's how you can, one of the things I learned from one of the courses I went through was you're learning to kind of, as you go through life and learn new things, that's your brand, that's your business. Like, and that's why I feel like personal branding is so powerful because there's no end. It's just your life. You can't sit there and think, oh, what am I going to do in 10 years or what am I going to do in 15 years? Because the answer is going to be whatever you're doing in your life. Whatever, if you're creating content in 10 years that's, I don't know, you might have just bought a new car or you might now be into racing. The people who've been following your journey from when you were younger are going to just relate and they're going to build with you because the content you're making is going to push to the people who have the same interests as you.
But then the beauty of that also is the people that are only interested in racing and have never come across you before, all of a sudden see you making a video about racing. They go, oh, God, here's a dude that's, he's got a good amount of followers. He's into racing. I'm going to follow him. And then they jump on your journey a few motorway junctions down.
Yeah.
But then you keep going with the journey, and then all of a sudden you're starting to talk about the little clothing brand that you're making. Well, you've got all the people that have followed you for the motor racing, people that have been there from day one. Now all of a sudden you've got the young lads that are looking at earning a little bit of money, starting their own clothing brand that jump on at that motorway junction.
Yeah.
And you just keep collecting all of these people along the way.
Yeah.
And before you know where you are, you've got this mass audience, and you go, because I often say this to people when I'm on a TikTok live, what do you associate my channel with? And I get, oh, you talk about cryptocurrencies, or you talk about men's mental health, or you talk about ice baths, or you talk about supplements. No two people give me the same answer.
I often say that because I like to know as well. Yeah. Why do you watch me? What do I give to you?
What value do I have to you? What videos have you seen? Where did you jump on? What motorway service station did you get on at here?
Yeah.
Was it number 1 or was it number 52 or was it 102? And it's amazing to see that. Yeah, it really is. Which is unlike other social media platforms, because once you're locked into a niche on, let's say, YouTube, you're kind of locked into that niche.
Yeah. I've experienced that firsthand.
Yeah.
I've started making fire service videos, and then I tried to transition it, but it's not the same as TikTok, man. Like a YouTube video requires so much more effort.
Yeah.
You can't post 3 YouTube videos a day, or
No
even
way.
3 a week's a lot. And I went from fire service to almost kind of travel, and my views went down, and I knew it was going to happen. But yeah, as a TikTok, you could post. If your main focus is self-improvement in the gym, maybe it's about the gym, you could post 2 videos a day about the gym, but you could also throw in a video about how you like cooking on the weekend.
Yep.
And then you get another little audience come
Yep.
in. You can do them.
It's very flexible.
Yeah,
And
very.
it's the greatest social media platform by a country mile for creators. I would also probably say still for consumers. That seems to be going a little bit, I don't know at the minute, but absolutely it is. And it's a fucking free app on your phone that everyone's got. Yeah. It's free.
Completely free.
It's free.
Completely free. It's.
I've seen people making money doing a TikTok live while they sleep.
Yeah.
They just put the phone at the side of the bed and they're just sleeping.
Yeah. I've seen that.
Now, if you can do that and make money from it, don't tell me that you've got nothing interesting to say. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Yeah. Everybody's got something interesting, and there's a lot of people out there who think, nah, I wouldn't do that. My life's too boring.
Yes.
Only go to work. I'm a teacher. I know a teacher who I met through TikTok. His name's Mr. Brown. I don't know if you've seen him. Yeah. Yeah, so he's actually I guess one of my friends now. He's a cool guy, but yeah, he just sits there and he'll be teaching his class. He's not recording the kids or anything. He's just there, selfies on him. The class is in front of him, and he'll just do like he'll just start sing with them and stuff, and people just love it. People just love it. So now he's just literally what people would think of as just a normal boring job. Yeah, Kit Brown.
I've never seen him. No, never seen him.
67 million views.
Is he English lad or American?
He's from near London. He's English.
Sick, man.
Just how to.
Amazing.
And you know, people will look at his job and think he's just a teacher.
Yeah.
He's just a teacher. What's so interesting about his job?
I'll tell you what, with 1.9 million followers, he's earning a hell of a lot more from TikTok than he is teaching.
Wow, when I said to him, what's the crack? Like, why are you still teaching? But I think he just enjoys it.
But that's his content, though.
Yeah. Wow. He also said that, actually.
So the second he stops teaching, unless he's gone down the personal brand route, like Lukey Wookie, like Bevo or whatever, if all you do is that, what happens when that's taken away from you? Or you know what I mean? So are people going to watch his videos if he's talking about, you know, his meal deal that he got in Tesco's and now he got it cheaper down? You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know the answer to that question.
That's the difference, isn't it, really? And that's the trap that I could have got in with the fire service, 100%. And I could have probably carried on doing the fire service videos and probably grown a lot. But if I wanted to do anything else, that's when the problem would have arose, kind of with my audience and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's.
I mean, it's never too difficult to. You can still turn that ship around, and if you've got a man, you can do it. It takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know, but you what you're doing is the video that really stuck with me a year ago, whatever it was. Somebody came on and he said, "Look, people think that TikTok not showing your video to all of your followers is a bad thing, but actually it's quite a good thing. And what that means is your video is getting shown to new people all the time. So no matter what your content's about, it's going to be shown to new eyes. And if those new eyes like it, they engage with it, they share it, they comment, that's going to get shown out to more new eyes and more new eyes and more new eyes. And all of a sudden you're getting a whole new audience. So I made a video about, you know, gaming in the 80s, but then tomorrow I'm in the gym talking about how I do this and that and the other. Yeah. I know that those two videos have been sent to completely different people and a spattering of my own followers. Yeah. And people don't understand the power in that. They're like, well, you know, if you've got 1 million followers, why is every video not getting 1 million views? Because it's not getting sent out to them 1 million people. Yeah. YouTube's different. Most of your videos get sent out to most of your new subscribers. Sorry, your subscribers. It doesn't get shown out to random people very often. And nor do Instagram posts. They get shown to the people you've already got.
Who follow you,
Yes.
And I don't know if this is true or not, but like quite what you've mentioned about TikTok, it's like it'll push, you post a video and then it might show it to 100 people. If they all engage well, it might show it to 1,000 people. And that's kind of how it will grow, isn't it? Yeah, someone did mention that to me.
It's exactly how it grows. Exactly. And look, they're constantly changing, and I think they probably are going to go a little bit more towards the YouTube, Instagram model, you know, where maybe they show your videos out to 50% of your followers, because building that community brand up. Look, ultimately, and I still do think this, I think TikTok Shop's their number one priority. And they want creators to create a community that you can then go on and you can talk about the iPhone cover that you've just bought and you put a little link to it at the bottom and then your followers can buy that. And they can't do that if they're not showing your content out to your followers enough. If it's always going out to new people, then, you know, somebody seeing me talking about, I don't know, fucking a new guitar that I've just bought for my kids, that's the first time that they've ever seen me, they're not going to buy that. Yeah. But if that's one of my followers that's been with me for 3 years and realises that I got into a new relationship, we've had a baby girl, she's now 2 years old, and this is the guitar I'm buying her because she's really into it, they go, oh, fucking hell, I want that.
It's a no-brainer,
That's a no-brainer, isn't it?
Because you've built that authority as well.
You have.
And that's
what
you're doing.
I think they are going to be transitioning more to that, because I still do think the crowning jewel for TikTok is going to be its shop. I really do.
You think?
Yep. I do, because it's a self revenue generating income stream for them, isn't it? You know, they push your content out, you create more content because you've got the buzz. You've put a product onto it, you earn your commission, they earn money off of it, the person selling it earns money off of it. So they're more likely to put more things on the TikTok shop, you're more likely to promote more products, they're more likely to push your content. It's just a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I think they're tweaking with it now a little bit, but I do think that's where it's going to go. And I think Amazon will go down the route of having creator areas where they've got...
They do have some creative programs, don't they, Amazon?
Now?
Yeah.
Where you can make content and things like that.
Yeah, I remember looking into one and it was about you will make just a review on the product.
Right.
And you'll show, like, say it's an iPhone case, this is how it's used, these are where the lenses will come out of, this is where the volume button will go. And you'll be getting paid on people who view the product but then watch your video. Right. As a, like, there's 5 review videos, and if they click on your review video, and then if they make the purchase, you might get a bit more. But how much? Nothing compared to TikTok.
Because how powerful is it when your 50,000 followers see you talking about that one? Yeah. Rather than just some random dude that they're,
Yeah, who you don't even know who it is, just his hand. You don't even see his face. Yeah.
No. So, which is, look, it's exciting and we're really at the forefront of it. So, mate, we've done a couple of hours.
How long's it been?
Just over 2 hours, man.
Good, man.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Mate, it's been a total pleasure meeting you. And like I said to you before, I like to go into these not knowing anything about them. Yeah. Because now I feel like I know everything about you. Yeah. There's been no preconceptions, none of this. And that's how I love to do it. And like I say to everybody, I feel like I've made a friend. Yeah, definitely. So we've sat here, so we'll have phone numbers, we'll do some content, we'll do some collabs, and it's one of the sides of social media that people don't always see is I've got some fucking brilliant friends now just from TikTok.
Oh, 100%. Your network.
Just from TikTok. Yeah.
Because it's people who are like you as well.
Yeah.
It's people who think like you. It's not with your group of 5 mates and all four of them don't have any kind of similar goals, or it's people who want what you want. And it's also, they also bring their audience, and their audience might think like you because they think like you. Yeah. And your network's so powerful.
Your network is your net worth.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a famous...
And that's never been more obvious than in 2023.
Yeah, 100%, man.
It definitely is. So, look, what's your TikTok channel? It's...
at Cameron McCleary. So just my full name.
Cameron McCleary.
Yeah, just my full name.
Tag that in there. We'll follow.
Same on Instagram.
Same on Insta.
And
YouTube.
YouTube is Cam McCleary. So
Cam McCleary.
Rather than Cameron, it's Cam.
So once we chop this up and get all the clips and stuff, we'll tag you in all of the clips and send you some over. Perfect. We'll send him some actual raw ones over that we've not posted, so he can post some actual raw ones on his content.
I'll post some from mine.
And then it'll be live later on today. We'll have this up today.
Oh, perfect.
Up on YouTube. You're not too far away from me, so let's in the new year, let's meet up. Let's do some. I want to come and do some of these street interviews with you and stuff. I think that'll be wicked because I've always thought about stuff like that. Yeah. We've talked about it before, like doing a 30-second podcast. Yeah. So you set up something like this, and anybody that wants to come on, right? You got 30 seconds. What do you want to talk about? Bang.
That's a good idea.
We've got some good ideas. And I went and had my haircut before I came to see you, and I'm sitting there, and I said to Ben, imagine if you did a hairdresser podcast. So you had the hairdresser, and he's got the camera, and he's just got people coming in, and he's quite a chat, like you or me, a chatty guy and interested in you. You could maybe line people up, so it's not just random people off the street, but come and have a chat with them for 20 minines while you're doing the hair. This, that, and the other. Thanks so much, mate. See you later.
It's mad where your ideas come from, isn't it? I might get an idea driving home. Yeah. I'll have to write it down because I don't forget it. Yes. But it's them random kind of subconscious, your subconscious mind, them ideas. I love them, man. So one more book for you to read. It's called The War of Art, and it's by Stephen Priestfield. Okay. Not The Art of War, which loads of people have read, which is from Sun Tzu. Very familiar, it's The War of Art, and just very briefly, going back to the ancient, whatever they were, Thor and all of those, the old Viking legends, they said that there are these 9 muses, what they call them, and they were the daughters of Thor. Okay. And they are creativity, sciences, the arts, literature, things like that. And what he was saying is, these muses come to you and use you as a vessel to get the creativity out there. And they're saying, if you talk to anybody that's very creative, film director, movie star, somebody that's written a book, they go, I didn't write that.
It just came to me.
Yeah.
And I look back at it and I'm like, how the fuck have I written that?
Yeah,
How have
yeah.
I made that?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's an amazing,
It's crazy, isn't it?
amazing
When you think
book.
about it.
Yeah. Like
Even
very
like-
rare
Yeah.
that people go, yeah, that was all down to me. They're like, no. Just got this idea driving in my car.
Yeah, yeah.
Came to me. Where's that come from? You weren't thinking about
powerful,
it.
yeah, yeah.
And it's like you said, they're the ones that boom.
Yeah.
They're the ones that boom. And it's like almost like I got a download, they've told me to do this, and all of a sudden that's the one that's done well.
Yeah.
Whereas the one I've sat down and I've crafted it carefully and edited
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
bombs.
Even like I went through a phase of making TikToks of like writing the hook, writing the body, writing
Yeah.
like the call to action at the end. And they do so much worse than I just get my phone out, record for a minute,
Yeah.
forget what I've even mentioned.
Yeah.
I've just went on a tangent.
Yes.
And they're the ones that do well.
They're the ones that do well, and it's amazing. And this guy's a real good writer, and he talks about that, and he's like, you know, it's. But yeah, that's what they believed back in those days, that creativity comes from somewhere else, and there's these 9 muses, and he talks always about. He sits down in the morning. He's like, he's got this little like prayer thing he says, and it's like, dear muse, whatever, use me however you will today, and let's just do it. And he's one of them people. Stephen King's another one, says, when you're in the flow of writing, do not edit anything, just write. Just write, because the second you go into analytical mode of editing and changing this and whatnot, using that completely different side of your brain, when just let it all out onto the page.
Yeah.
Just let it all out onto the page. And then you go back, because there are going to be some days where there's nothing coming out. Well, they're the days then you start doing it. And they call it writer's block, don't they?
That's interesting to know, because as I say, I write newsletters and stuff.
Yeah.
And when you get in that flow,
Yes.
that's what you want to be in,
Yes,
isn't it?
you want
Yeah.
that flow. And that book's amazing. It's dead quick. It's a dead quick book. And it's fucking brilliant. I connected with it on so many levels, because I'm like, yeah, my best ideas are not my ideas.
Just jot these down. So it's a slight edge.
The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. Slight edging. Glazing boy over there. And The War of Art. Yeah, really 2 really good books, but you'll really like The Slight Edge. Amazing book.
Perfect, man, perfect.
Cam, it's been an absolute pleasure.
I appreciate the time that you've took to give me it, man.
No worries, man.
To give me
No
the opportunity
worries.
to come on. I
Any
appreciate
time. You know, you want to just let us know. Give us a couple of days in advance. Say, all right, come on, let's go on. Because I think your story is as equally as powerful to young lads as mine is, because they look at me as somebody, he's already done that, and he's made those mistakes, and he's there now, whereas you're the same age group, and they're going, well, hang on a second, if he can have that mindset now, I can do it as well.
Yeah.
Because you don't see many young lads your age that aren't out going putting coke up their nose at the weekends, that aren't going and getting pissed up, that aren't shagging every bird that comes under the sun, that are spending all their money loaded with debt. You don't see that very often.
Yeah.
What you often see is you see the train wreck of a boy that's happened to, that now fixes themselves, and that's a great story. But you're before that. You're not even. You're. This is fucking mindset. Boom, boom, boom. And seeing how that clean path can lead is an amazing story.
Yeah. No, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
Man.
it.
You're absolutely welcome. Wicked.